opera singer. She was so loud and so professional. She wasn't a woman that was hurt, like, oh, my heart's injured. She was a professional. She's shame, shame. She's screaming, shame, shame. I said, that's not a normal person. That's a professional. These are professional agitators and professional people that want to see our country do badly. But that's not happening because we have the hottest country anywhere in the world, despite this stuff. Look at this. All top of the line criminals. They're not going to be good. They're not going to be well behaved here. I could do thousands. We had over 3,000 in the last fairly short while. Just in Minnesota. What's the number, Carol? 10,000.
10,000 criminals arrested in Minnesota alone.
10,000 criminals. And these are serious.
What's up, guys? Yeah,
how can a place
Restream just crashed completely. Like, I couldn't unmute there for a while, and then the whole thing just dropped.
Fighting us. Yeah, I like that guy. Keeps nodding to me. You agree
Jordan
with me,
got kicked out. We all got kicked out.
I like him. I don't know who he is, but I like him. He keeps nodding. He says, you're right. He's obviously a little on the right side, maybe. Look. These are rough ones. So we just took this off a stack. We have many stacks like this. Like, I could go 30 times what I'm showing you now. Relations with Hezbollah, that's nice. Our country. I'm just looking at these charges. It's just pretty incredible. Many murderers, many murderers. People, it's incredible. Mostly Hispanic, by the way. They're like 60% Hispanic. You know, they talk about Hispanic. They're mostly Hispanic, right? And they're unbelievable people. And then they say, oh, we discriminate against. I love Hispanic. They are unbelievable. Entrepreneurial. They have everything. I did great. I did the highest. Nobody ever got numbers like I got from the standpoint of being a Republican. But even if you look at Texas, I won the entire border along Texas, between Texas and Mexico. It never happened before. Nobody's ever.
Hey, regular Restream, man.
As a Republican, I did it.
Dude, the Restream just completely crashed, like, across the board.
All sorts of things.
My trading view crashed like 30 seconds later.
They're the best people we have, and they're Hispanic.
I don't know what.
I think it was maybe it's Chrome. It's kind of Chrome issue, probably.
Hispanic. They're unbelievable people. I don't know how they can take the abuse. They're taking rough. They're taking rough people.
Bouncing off that low.
Like all of them. We have 10,000 at least. I could have done 10,000, and then you're lucky I only did like 100.
I'd like to see a little bit lower on SPY before I start thinking about longs.
Murderers. They have some people
spot.
We can't use their picture for legal reasons, but they're up for murder in their own country, and we jeopardize their case. When we send them back, and we coordinate with other countries. A tremendous amount of work. All allowed in here by an open border policy of the worst president in the history of our country. A man that didn't win the election, by the way, it's a rigged election. Everybody knows that now. And by the way, numbers are coming out that show it even more plainly. We caught him. So I just want you to know that it's a terrible thing. Here's the book on accomplishments. And this is something, ooh, I'm glad my finger wasn't in that sucker. That could have done some damage, but you know what? I wouldn't have shown the pain. I would have gone back. What, did you hear that? That was nasty. But I would not have shown the pain. I would have acted like nothing happened as my finger fell off. That was a nasty, I think somebody did that. I think something.
Said I would have shown the pain.
It was my man. How were you?
Oh,
you didn't do it. I know you
God.
didn't. I know you didn't. So, but here is here's the book. These are all things. I'm going to read a few of the samples, but look at this. These are all, each line is something that we did. Nobody did that before. And it's big stuff, too. Look, we have the hottest country in the world. So, I will read you a few. We ended Biden's stagflation. We were in stagflation. That's a disaster. That's far worse than inflation. As you know, he had the biggest inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years. Pick your choice. But they had the biggest inflation in the history of our country. We have it right down to a normal number now. We're going to get it even a little bit lower. Created super high. What we've done with growth is incredible. We created super high economic growth, and America is booming. It's booming. There are thousands of businesses right now that are being built. Many of the biggest factories in the world are being built right in our country. They're not going to other countries. They're leaving other countries. Fourth quarter GDP is on track to pass perhaps much more than 5% growth, and that's despite the fact that we had a Democrat shutdown. They shut down our country, and we had 5%. Nobody in this room has ever heard about 5%. I think it could be 20% if we do it right. If we don't, every time we have good numbers, they raise interest rates. You shouldn't do it. In the old days, if you had good numbers, they'd lower interest rates, or they wouldn't do anything. Here, they try and kill it. They always try and kill success. Over the last 20, 25 years, that's the way. In the old days, if you had good numbers, the market would go through the roof. Today, if you have good numbers, the market goes down. But by the way, we've had the best stock market in history, the best 401ks in history, and we inherited a mess. The numbers that we inherited were way up, and now we brought them, almost all of them, way down. We brought them way down. I mean, I'm not getting, maybe I have the bad public relations people, but we're not getting it across. We inherited high numbers, and we brought them way down. And look at gasoline. They have places in the country now, $1.99 a gallon. $1.99, $2.30, $2.50. I guess the average now they're saying is $2.31. I mean, he was at $4.50 and $5 for periods of time. And he went back to the Trump formula, but he didn't do it properly, and he really went back to parts of it because you would have had $8 gasoline if they didn't. But he didn't do it properly. He had people that didn't know what they were doing. Core inflation for the last 3 months is 1.6%. 1.6. Their core inflation was so high that nobody could even calculate it.
Can we get to the part where you talk shit about France?
$3,000. Think of that, $3,000. That's a year. In 12 months, Trump real incomes went up by $2,000 and $3,000 and even in some cases $5,000. It's a tremendous difference. Stock market has set 52 all-time record highs during the course of the 11 months, because this was done on 11 months. Now we are actually officially 12 months as of today. 52 all-time record highs. That means 401ks did great. I have people see me all the time, policemen that guard us really well, and got to know them a little bit. And they said, "Sir, you're making me look so good. My 401k is through the roof. My wife thinks I'm the greatest genius, that I'm a financial genius, like Warren Buffett." He told me that. He said, I think they have better returns than Warren Buffett right now. But he said, all my life, my wife has been criticizing me for not being smart financially. Now, all of a sudden, she loves me more. But we added $9 trillion in value to retirement accounts, saving many people. I mean, they were going out of business. Think of it. We added $9 trillion of value to retirement accounts, savings accounts, and 401ks. That's during the course of 12 months. And I think it's probably 11 months because I don't think they have it for the 12. They have it for the 11. Added $9 trillion of value. Lifted more than 1.2 million Americans off food stamps in 1 year. They would have had another 1.2 million. We would have had, welfare would have gone up. And instead of investing $18 trillion in our country, now it's probably more than that, But 18 trillion and having thousands of plants being built all over the country, you would have had thousands of plants closing all over the country, and you would have had disinvestment, and you would have had welfare going way up. You know, if you look at Snap, take a look at Snap, what happened with that? Was it $7 billion? And it came out to over $51 billion. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. The past administration, they had no clue. Or they were really bad, but they basically had no
Casey, do
clue.
you see Spy Flow right now?
But they did have a
By
concept. I mean,
flow.
they're still trying to sell the idea of men playing in
Yeah.
women's sports. You saw that
I
in the
can
Supreme
pull it
Court.
up.
Like
I mean, some of
big
those
call flow
justices
for
were fighting
June.
for him too. They were fighting for him. You saw that just the other day in the Supreme Court.
see.
Men playing in women's sport doesn't work.
705,
Secured a
725,
record-breaking $18 trillion
735,
in commitments
755.
for new investments. Apple,
see.
NVIDIA, SoftBank, Oracle, TSMC, Johnson & Johnson, Eli Lilly and Company, Micron, AstraZeneca, General Motors, Hyundai, Ford, Honda, GE Aerospace, many, many others. I left a Ford plant a week ago in Michigan that they were going to close.
Nope. Are we
2
back?
years ago, and now they just announced that they're going 24 hours around the clock making cars. Tariffs did it. I don't know what court's going to do. I think to me it reads so plainly. Couldn't be plainer. You're allowed to do a license. Tariff
Restream bugging.
probably less severe
Something
than what a
is.
license could be. But think of it. You're allowed
Like
to do a
half of
license,
my
and then they have a
Google
clause at the
Chrome
end,
tabs
something
are
to the
bugging right
effect,
now.
or what is necessary, something to that effect. And what is necessary with tariffs? I don't know.
I don't
Where there's
see
cases in there, but
anything for
We've taken in
June.
hundreds of billions of
Let me
dollars,
see.
and if we lose that case, it's possible we're going to have to do the best we can in paying it back. I don't know how that's going to be done very easily without hurting a lot of people. But we're waiting for that case anxiously, and we have tremendous national security because of tariffs and tremendous income. You know, we have, and by the way, no inflation. So everyone said, oh, tariffs will cause inflation. We have no inflation. We have very little inflation. Biden had inflation, and he didn't do tariffs. We had a huge problem.
You said the flow
We had,
on
We
June
have a
calls?
62% reduction in our trade deficit. So if you had a 1% reduction,
Oh,
a
never mind.
normal
There's
president
there's
would have 1%,
September.
2% reduction.
Okay, let me
Everybody
see.
would be high-fiving.
Actually, I do see some on
62%
June.
reduction. Next year we won't have a trade deficit. We secured most favored nations agreements to slash drug prices by as much.
Let me
And to me, I think this might be the biggest thing of all. We get zero talk about it. The New York Times had a story way in the back of the
Okay,
paper,
September
story about
September
it.
18th
I think
above
it's the
the
biggest
ask,
thing there is. When you talk about
725s and
healthcare,
755s.
drug prices will go down more than
I
ever
see
before
those.
for any country.
Those are large orders.
Because we were priced at such a level that we were subsidizing the entire world, big place the world. We were paying 10, 12, 13 times more than other
Yeah,
countries.
those are big
13
orders.
times more, not 13%, 13 times more. A pill that was selling in London for $10 would sell in New York for $130. That's 13 times. More than that even. But we
Check
secured
SPX.
most favored nations agreements to slash drug prices by as much as 300, 400, 500, and even 600, including with Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly, Nova Nordisk, Gilead Sciences, EMD, Serenio, and many others. If you look at some of the prices that are coming down, where a price would come down $1,300 coming down to $87. Think of it. So something that was costing $1,300 is now costing $87. And the fake news doesn't want to write about it. That's why I do this. I don't like to do this, to be honest with you. But I do it because got to get the word out. We signed one big, beautiful bill. I call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill, delivering the largest tax cuts in history. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. We made interest on car loans tax deductible for U.S. built automobiles only. So if you build the If you buy an automobile built in the United States, we're not doing it for Germany and Canada and different places. We're doing it only if it's built here. We want them to be built here. A lot of the Canadian auto plants are closing and they're moving into the United States. Same thing with Mexico, same thing with Germany, and same thing with Japan and other countries. They're moving into the United States because of tariffs. Because they don't want to pay the tariffs. It's too much. They can't pay the tariffs. So they're coming here. Nothing different than what other smart countries did. But it works better for us. Under my leadership, it's not done properly, but it's done properly. We have, again, more plants being built than at any time in the history of our country. Passed the largest spending cuts in American history, and that was true in my first. We had a tremendous first term also. We rebuilt our military. We had one of the best. We had the best economy in the history of our country, but we're blowing it away now. When this stuff starts opening up, you're not going to see anything like it probably ever again. We slashed the federal budget deficit by 27% in a single year. Think of that, 27. You could do it 2%, 1%, 0.5%, 27%. And that's with all of the things we have to do, all of the people we have to put on the payroll to get rid of people that are murderers. Again, when you see people in Minnesota that are murderers, these people are fighting to keep them there. And I say to Christie and to Tom Homan, the great people, they're working so hard. Look at the border. The border is now secure. First time, Biden said you couldn't do it. You need legislation. I had no legislation. I said close the border. Within 1 month, we had almost nobody coming in. Now for the last 8 months, nobody came into our country illegally. And I find that hard to believe because you'd think somebody, because it used to be millions of people just poured into our country. And the people that do that are Democrat sort of aligned. So, they're not doing me any favors. We had nobody come in. We have a very strong border. We have very few people coming up. They're not going to make the trek because they know they probably won't be coming in. So it's not as hard as you think. But I didn't have to go back. Remember they said, we need legislation to close the border. They had millions of people coming in a month. We have nobody coming in, and we're getting the murderers out. Murderers, people from prisons and jails. Many countries opened up their prisons and dropped them into the United States. Those are the people we're getting out. And we have a lot of heart. They said, you got to lighten up on this. We have a lot of heart for people. They came in illegally, but they're good people, and they're working now on farms, and they're working in luncheonettes and hotels and all. And we're looking to get the criminals out right now, the criminals. And I think it's very important. Every once in a while you see a story, we take somebody. He should be out because they came in illegally. So in theory, they should be. But we're focused on the murderers, the drug dealers, the mentally insane. We have a lot of mentally insane killers. You can't even talk to them. It'd be nice if you could have a little reason, but you can't even reason. These are seriously ill people. You have a couple of countries where they were loaded up. Their mental institutions and insane asylums were loaded to the gills. They couldn't get. They're empty now. But they're filling up because we're bringing them all back. We know where they came from. In every country except.
Is he just freestyling up here? Is he just off the dome?
That they'd bring them there, and they wouldn't take them. They said, "Get the hell out of here." They would be bringing a plane in to land in a country, and they'd put 5 planes on the runway so you couldn't land the plane. So they'd come back with the people that they were bringing back. They don't do that with me. They do that with me. They have problems. They don't do it. They accept them back. They're not happy about it, but they accept them back. Cut a record number of regulations. I promised to eliminate 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. Instead, we cut 129 old regulations for each one added. Think of that. I wanted to do 10. My first 4 years I did, when we put on a new regulation, you had to cut 8. This year I said you have to cut 10. Instead, we cut 129. So every time so far, can't remain like that, I don't imagine. I hope it can.
I tweeted out that flow I found on the Wolf Trading page if anybody wants to see it. For
regulations where they go by California, which
there's a lot of puts right now on SPY.
with the governor that's
670s. for
doing a bad
6/18,
job.
2026. I
He's
just
killing
looked
that
up this
thing.
contract because I saw some more flow
If
come
he
in.
ever ran the
I mean,
country, this
$55
country
million
would be
have been bought
Venezuela
today at the ask on
very
these, and now some
quickly.
unusual flow just
Using
came in a little
tariffs
bit ago
slashed the
on
U.S. trade
646 for
deficit
February
by an
20th.
incredible
About
77%.
one and a
The
half
trade
million.
deficit is down, and that doesn't include the last month where we had our best month. We slashed the trade deficit by an incredible 77% in 1 year with no inflation, something that everyone said could not be done. So we had essentially no inflation. In fact, the last month we had almost no inflation. But we slashed the trade deficit by 77%. If you slashed it by 1%, that was good. Again, we did that with tariffs and intelligence. We did that with November 5th, great election. We secured historic trade deals to reduce barriers on U.S. exports with countries covering 40% of all U.S. trade. Think of that. American exports are up by more than $150 billion this year. People said, oh, we're not exporting. All we do is buy. If you keep buying, you're not going to have a country for very long.
A lot of
So we
Apple
increased
sold
exports
calls are coming in.
by more than
Apple is
$150
dumping.
billion. Investment in American factories is up 41%. That's a record. Nobody goes 41% up. You go 2% up, 1% up. You go down by 3%. If Kamala got elected, the 41% up would be 41% down. We removed over 270,000 bureaucrats from the federal payroll. That's another thing. So we have, we announce our unemployment numbers, call it unemployment or employment. And they were very good, but we could make them great. But we've slashed tremendous numbers of people off the federal payroll. Because ultimately, if you're on the federal payroll, I mean, we have jobs where they had 10 people for every job. So we cut. Now, if you want to see some good numbers, I'll hire 1 million people. We cut millions of people off the federal payroll. I don't like doing that, but the good news, I don't feel badly because they're getting private sector jobs. And they're getting sometimes twice as much money, 3 times as much money. They're getting factory jobs. They're getting much better jobs and much higher pay. But all I have to do is say, like, what the Democrats do all the time. They hire 1 million people, and then they hire another million. They load it up, and it says, oh, they only have a 3%
Broadcom had some
unemployment
huge
rate.
flow this
It's
morning,
fake
too.
rate. So with us, we're proud of the fact that we cut so many because, again, I don't want to cut people. But when you cut them and they go out and get a better job, I like to cut them. And sometimes they have to be forced to do
See
that
if you see
because,
that one on Broadcom.
it's like they want to stay where they are. They don't
March,
know. And then all of a sudden, we have many cases,
280
Caroline,
strike.
where people were
$34 million
devastated. They
on that.
hated Trump. I got caught from my
It's like
very boring
deep in the
federal
money. I
job
mean,
where
it's
they had,
pretty deep in the money,
again,
but
sometimes
still.
10 people to do one job. And they were very upset. And now they ended up with a job where they get paid 3 times more money.
What was the
SC
strike?
20,
Houses. It's like crazy.
March
So they went
March
from not
20th,
liking me to liking me a lot.
280 on
It's hard to
AVGO.
get. We need people. We need people. It's one of the reasons. I mean, when you have good people in the farm or good people in hotels and everything else, we want to work with
Could
them
just
as
be
much
somebody
as we can.
exiting equity and
Under
buying,
Biden,
some in the
1
money
out of 4
calls.
jobs added was a government job. Think of that. So 25% of the jobs added.
Be large.
When you know that, that's 25% of the jobs aren't real jobs. But again, I could do that. I could add 2 million jobs right now. Would have an unemployed. I could say just hire some more people. I do the opposite. I say get rid of everybody that's unnecessary because that's the way you make America great again. When you have, all these jobs where people are sitting around doing nothing and they get a lot of money by the government, it's no good. But that's what the Democrats do. They show, oh, we were at 4% unemployment. That's a good number. But they just add jobs, or they wouldn't cut. They would never cut jobs. Under Trump, 100% of all new jobs created have been in the private sector. Think of that. Not 1%
Made a new low
has gone
day.
to federal.
Slightly.
So under Biden, 1 out of 4 was a government job. Under Trump, 100% of the new jobs created, 100% came from the private sector. That's how you make your country wealthy and strong and good. We inherited the worst border in history and turned it into the strongest border in history. Illegal crossings have plummeted to the lowest level ever recorded, down
Man, more Apple cost still
99.999%.
coming in, new lows.
That means down 100%. 99.99. Now, we want to find out who that one person is. For 8 months in a row, zero, and these are government numbers, these are not my numbers. For 8 months in a row,
MSTR
zero
calls are
illegal
coming
aliens
in.
were admitted to our country. Zero. Nobody came in.
I can tell you what I'm not
Unless
buying.
they came in legally. We have a big process for having people come in legally, by the way. A lot of people are coming in legally. They have to prove
If
they
you
love
actually
our
look at
country. They have to
MSTR on the
prove
daily
that
chart,
they're
risk
not
to
going to need
reward, it is a
welfare.
long.
A lot of things they have to prove. For the first time in 50
It just hit
years, we are
trend line
now
for a
seeing
higher low.
reverse migration, where we're getting all of these illegal people out. People that came in illegally.
Bitcoin wasn't
in many
getting
cases,
its
they're
shit
criminals
kicked down,
in many,
I'd think
many
about it.
cases. Remember when they
Yeah.
used to say that the people that
Still
come
waiting
into
for
our country
2025
as
lows.
immigrants are very nice people, but wonderful
Ethereum
people.
lost
They don't commit
3,000.
crime. No, they
Oh
make
my
our
God.
criminals look like babies.
Ugh.
Doesn't look good.
They make our Hell's Angels look like the sweetest people on earth. The Hell's Angels are now considered a nice, high-quality person. I like the Hell's Angels. They voted for me. They protected me, actually, believe it or not. But they make our criminals
What?
look like babies.
The guy that
Jesus.
ratted out the Hell's
Vicious
Angels
people.
lives in
Anyone know?
Ojai.
They came from the Congo. The prisons, I know the Congo because I ended the war with the Congo and
Used to come to my
Rwanda.
parents' gym.
Tough group, very tough group. They came from prisons in the Congo. Some of the toughest, meanest people you'll ever meet. Thank you very much. They allowed him to come into America.
What's up, Joe?
These are tough people. Before my election, 100% of net job creation was going to foreign migrants. Since my inauguration, 100% of the net jobs created have gone to American-born citizens. That's a big thing. In other words, we're now taking care of our people. 100% of net jobs created have gone to the American-born people. Before that, we didn't care. Designated Tren de Aragua, MS-13, and the Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and we've hit them hard. You've seen what we've done on the water. We're starting to do that on land. The land is much easier, actually. Water is incredible. We did that on the water so that when you do it on the land, they don't go to the water. Nobody's going into the boat business right now, I can tell you. 97% down drugs coming in by water. 97%.
The boat business.
Nobody ever heard of that before. They heard 2%, 1%. It went
I
up
just
2%.
laughed.
97, and we're looking for the 3%. Who the hell are the 3%? They're crazy. But we've taken out almost 100% of the drugs coming in by water. Now we're going to be very shortly starting drugs coming in by land. We know exactly where they're coming from. Removed tens of thousands of illegal alien gang members, drug dealers, murderers, child predators, human traffickers, fraudsters, savage criminals, and others. We removed them from our country. They're out. They're gone. In some cases, they're so dangerous that we put them in jail because we don't want to give them to their country. Their country doesn't do anything, and they end up coming back. We have some that they're so bad that we want to really release them. We want to put them in a jail where we know they're properly
God, QQQ. Those freaking
ensconced.
butts, dude.
Think of that.
Paper
Remove tens of
hands.
thousands of illegal alien gang members, drug dealers, murderers, child predators, human traffickers, fraudsters, and savage criminals. Why wouldn't you want them removed? The reason is because these are insurrectionists that are doing this work. And, you know, they're going to make mistakes sometimes. ICE is going to be too rough with somebody, or, you know, they're dealing with rough people. They're going to make a mistake. Sometimes it can happen. We feel terribly. I felt horribly when I was told that the young woman who was had the tragedy. It's a tragedy. It's a horrible thing. Everybody would say, ICE would say the same thing. But when I learned her parents and her father in particular I hope he still is, but I don't know. Was a
Still holding that
tremendous
short from
Trump
earlier.
fan.
God.
He was all for Trump, loved Trump. And, it's terrible. I was told that by a lot of people. They said, oh, he loves you. He was I hope he still feels that way. I don't know. It's hard situation. But her father was a tremendous, and parents were tremendous Trump fans. It's so sad. It just happens. It's terrible. Halted all refugee admissions to the United States, including from Somalia, which is a terrible, terrible place, another dangerous place. And we also stopped the pirates because they get the same treatment as the drug boats. So when Somalia, the Somalians, you know what they're good at? That's about the only thing they're good at is they're good at pirating ships at sea, big ships. So you have a huge oil tanker with millions of gallons, millions of barrels of oil. And if it gets hit by a big weapon, the whole thing blows up. And they don't want to fight because if they do, they're told by their insurance companies, do not hand over the ship. And they're not allowed to have any guns on the ship. They're literally, you have these massive ships being taken over by a Somalian small boat with a big weapon. Because if they hit the side of the ship can blow up. You talk about a blow up. Bad. We've seen some bad things happen. And the insurance companies, some of these ships cost more than $1 billion to build. And the insurance companies say, look, we'd rather give them money than take a chance on $1 billion insurance policy. But they don't have to worry about it because we hit them the same way we hit the people with the drugs in their boat. They don't know what the hell happened. But all of a sudden, there are no pirates at sea. Do you notice? We haven't had a boat taken in a little while. Came out of Somalia, really corrupt place. It's not a country. They don't have government. They don't have anything. I always hate to see this. Ilhan Omar, she comes from Somalia, a backward country, probably the worst country. They say it's the worst country in the world, if it's a country. I don't even think it's a country. There's no organization, no anything. They don't have police. They don't have military. They don't have anything. They just have people running around, killing each other and trying to pirate ships. But she'll come here.
Dude, we're still bleeding.
Then she wants to tell us how to run our country.
Yeah.
The Constitution says that I am entitled to this. I can't
25K on NDX. Oh, is that the next capital?
Terminated all taxpayer-funded benefits
Oh,
for
it's
legal
right
aliens.
there. That's the next capital down. NDX just filled it.
Off of Social
Your next
Security.
target.
They were illegally getting Social Security.
You're at a whole number, 6,800 SPIs.
275,000 people. I'm telling you, it's not that this is pleasurable, but if I were an elected president, this country was going to be destroyed quickly, very quickly. I think within a year, if you had Kamala or a Joe type. I mean, Joe was a disaster, but if you had Kamala, he was the replacement. I was up by like 25 points on Joe, and they said, hey, let's get somebody else. This never happened. Well, I had so many firsts. You're leading somebody by a lot, and they say, oh, let's take him out, let's put somebody. That's like I said to Dana White the other night. I said, you know, Dana, it's like you have a fighter, two fighters. One guy is winning by a lot. And they say, oh, let's take this guy out. Let's put a new fighter in the ring with him. That's what happened to me. I was doing great with Biden. The whole campaign was against Biden. All the money was spent against Biden. And all of a sudden, I got Kamala. Everyone said, who the hell is she? But that didn't work out too well for them. But never happened before. We are about lots of firsts. Designated English as the official language of the United States of America. We did that very powerfully. And while we're at it, we also took the Gulf of Mexico, and now it's the Gulf of America. Because we have 92% of the shoreline. It always bothered me. I'd say, you know, we have most of the shoreline. Mexico has a small percentage, talks about 8%. We have 92%. And I said, why is it the Gulf of Mexico? It should be the Gulf of America. I was going to call it the Gulf of Trump, but I thought that I would be killed if I did that. I wanted to do it. I wanted to. My people worked so hard. Sir, I don't think it'll look too good. I'm telling you, it's a good thing. And it'll be hotter than ever, I said. No, but I decided not to do that. I'm joking, you know, when I say that. I was not going to call it the Gulf of Trump. because tomorrow will be Trump wanted to call it the Gulf of Trump, but he was rebuffed by his people. My people don't rebuff me too much. The Gulf of Trump, that does have a good ring, though. Maybe we could do that. It's not too late. No, we have the Gulf of America now. It's great. Our country is proud for the attack on Venezuela, the attack on the Iran nuclear capability, wiped it out.
I don't know if you guys saw, but the White House Instagram account posted a photo of like
al-Baghdadi,
all the politicians
ISIS,
saying back then that Trump needs to do more for Venezuela, and then now they're saying like they're mad he did it.
Signed
they
an
literally
order that will
posted a
end
slideshow.
birthright citizenship for children of illegal
It's crazy.
migrants. You know, that case is in court right
Off the
now.
White
Thinking
House
about
That case
account.
was meant
I'm thinking
for
about playing some
the
calls right
children
here.
of slaves.
Bounce.
All you have to do is look at the years. Look at the years where the cases were filed and where the
Spy
decisions
just
were
hit my
made.
level.
They were right at the end of the
Making a higher low.
Civil War.
Um,
Trying to say that, you know, in China's making a big business out of that. They come to the country, they have a child, the American citizen, they get all the benefits. It had nothing to do with that. That was for the children of slaves.
definitely be
And I
interested
hope the
in
Supreme Court so
looking to see if
rules.
buyers do step in.
Designated
defend the
fentanyl
spot.
as a weapon of mass
I'm
destruction.
fine.
It is. We lost, I believe, 300,000 people this year. 300,000 people. That's like filling up one of those big football stadiums 5 times.
Someone just bought
not even
$1.43 million worth of
I mean, you could be in a
Netflix
war and you
$91
wouldn't lose that many
calls
people.
for February 20th.
So we designated fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. Conducted numerous successful military strikes against narco-terrorists
just went red on
operating
the
in
day.
our hemisphere, including the water strikes. Drugs brought in by ocean. So I told you that we're down by, I mean, close to 100%.
I'll see if we get any kind of reversal printed
hard to
on
get
this. Look for
Somebody
long.
to pilot those boats. Right. They have to be people that don't watch television, don't read the news. And we just blew up their facility. They had a docking facility where the drugs were stored. And now we have a great relationship with
IWM is
Venezuela.
drilling.
We're getting along fantastically with the leadership in Venezuela, so we wouldn't have to do that. This was done before the attack. But we captured and brought to justice the outlaw dictator of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, who, through drugs, killed millions of people in our country. Tremendous drug dealer. Also sent
I have a spot
millions
right
of people
here.
into our country, including
On
Tren de Aragua,
NQ,
the worst gang. They say it's
TQ2.
the worst gang in the world. They
It's
took over
25
parts
still
of
35.
Colorado. They just take the apartment building. They just took it away. Just took it away like we're here. They cut the hand off one man because he called the police. Who called the police? I did. You took my apartment from me. Boom. No hand. This is what they sent us. Restoring law and order, new category. D.C. and Memphis, federal task forces deployed massive numbers of federal law
I'm just gonna
enforcement
try a light
officers
long here.
and National Guard to restore safety. Crime down in D.C. is almost down to nothing. D.C. was a very, very dangerous place, and I think you probably know better than I do. I have a lot of people in the media thanked me for that, but some of them found it hard to thank me. But, you know, D.C. is now, look how beautiful. D.C. is now, you can walk right from here to a restaurant, right through the center of town. You can be with your child, with your loved one, with your lover. Your lover's not going to be killed anymore, so you can act like a real lover. But you can walk right through the middle of the town, and D.C. is beautiful again too. You notice we took all the fences down, almost all. The rest are coming down. We got the graffiti all off. National Guard's been amazing. You know, we didn't tell them to do that. That's not their job description. But they were picking
I really
up
want to see like a
garbage
bottom
around there.
wick
They were
before I
great.
add.
And I don't know. To me, a town, it looks better when you have military people. These are big, strong guys. The bad guys look at them and they say, "We're not gonna
IWM
mess
is
with
still
them." But,
drilling
what they
hard.
don't know is
Uses
that we
almost
took
at
over
pre-market
2,000 people
lows.
permanently out of D.C. These were career criminals. But I feel much
If
better.
they fail it here, SPY just goes down to
seeing those
675.
people there.
That's
I went
a
in a
hard
couple of
long right
times
there
and
for
had
me.
dinner in D.C. I walked right down the middle of the street. I felt very safe. A year ago, I couldn't have done that. I would have been crazy to have done that. And Secret Service wouldn't let me do it. They weren't
68.25
thrilled
says
anyway,
Audi
I
has
will tell
needs to
you.
hold.
It wasn't like they were thrilled, but we did it, and it was great. But D.C. is a great thing. We have virtually no crime in D.C. anymore. And before we did this move, it was we could do the same thing with Chicago. You know, we brought
We're
Chicago down
overdue for a bounce
25%,
too on
even
the
though we just
15
had a
minute.
minimal crew there. We brought Wisconsin down. We brought Minnesota
68.10, 68.15
down, way
ladder on
down, even
SPX.
though everything's a fight.
135
You know,
long on
because they want to
NQ.
keep those people that are lying on the floor. They want to keep those people in Minnesota, but they really don't. I don't think the real people of Minnesota, it's a very corrupt place, and the elections are totally corrupt. I feel I won it all 3 times. Nobody's won that state since Richard Nixon. It's a rigged state. And the Somalians vote as one group, even if they're not citizens, and they vote as one group, and you know, you get 600,000 votes against you. They all ought to get the hell out of here. They're bad for our country. Nationwide achieved the largest reduction in violent crime on record. So this just came out. Nationwide, over the last 11 months, achieved the largest reduction in violent crime on record, including the largest one-year drop in murders ever recorded. Almost 2,000 lives were saved. That's despite the fact that we took in criminals under the leadership of the President Joe Biden. Motor vehicle theft is down by 100,000 vehicles nationwide. That's another nationwide. The motor vehicle theft was out of control, and now it's very much in control. It was down by more than 100,000 vehicles to a record low.
Was
Began the
that
process
SPX
of eliminating
6800?
cashless bail policies across the nation. You got to get rid of your sanctuary
Yeah.
cities, and I hope
Yeah, that was the
people
other
know
confluence
that we're not
piece.
going to pay
Yeah,
sanctuary cities.
it's not a
We're not going to pay them anymore. They are sanctuary
bad
for
spot to look
criminals.
for these buyers. So
They
far,
hold
looking good.
criminals. We're not going to pay. They can sue us, and maybe they'll win. But we're not giving
He
money to
looks much better than
sanctuary
he is.
cities anymore as of the beginning of the month. We began the
I'm trimming
process of
some of those calls.
eliminating the cashless bail. Well, cashless bail is where it all started. It's a disaster. And then other places. I don't know if it started in New York. I remember it starting in New York. So somebody comes in, murders somebody, and they let them out. No bail, no nothing. Basically, cashless bail means you just get the hell out. And they go outside. We have one case where a guy murders somebody, gets released, and goes out and murders somebody. 2 people in one day. No, we got to get rid of cashless bail. They got to pay, got to have bail. There's a reason for bail. Long tested. Signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions and insane asylums. We're going to have to bring them back. Hate to build those suckers, but you got to get the people off the streets. You know, we used to have, when I was growing up, we had in my area in Queens, I grew up in Queens, we had a place called Creedmoor. Creedmoor, did anybody know that? Creedmoor. It was a big, I said, Mom, why are those bars on the building? I used to play Little League baseball there, a place called Cunningham Park. Who's quite the baseball player, you wouldn't believe. But I said to my mother, Mom, she would be there, always there for me. She said, son, you could be a professional baseball player. I said, thanks, Mom. I said, why are those bars on the windows? Big building, big, powerful building. It loomed over the park, actually. She said, well, people that are very sick.
There
All
you
right,
go.
40 plus point gain on NQ. I'm taking a trim here.
Always look at that building.
I'm going to
and
close the
see
6810
big
SPXs I
building,
took.
big, tall building. It loomed over the park. It was sort of, now that I think it was a pretty unfriendly sight. But I'll never forget. I don't know if it's still
I think he
there.
got clear skies to 200 again.
Because they got rid of most of them, you know. The
I'm
Democrats
flat, but-
in New York, they took them
Yeah,
down, and the people
profiles.
live on the streets now. That's why you have a lot of the people in California and other places, they live in the streets. They took the mental institutions down. They're expensive. But I'd say, why does that building have those bars? Boy, it wasn't normal. You know, you're used to looking at like a window. But this one, you look at it, all this steel, vicious steel, tiny windows, bars all over the place. Nobody was getting out. It's called a mental institution. That was an insane asylum. Designated Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, and many others. It is. America is respected again on the world stage. That's another topic. Obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment capability, and Operation Midnight Hammer was one of the most successful anyone's ever seen. CNN fake news. I don't know where they are. CNN. Anybody from CNN here? Fake news. Nobody wants to raise their hand anymore. They used to argue. Yeah. Now, if you're with CNN, you don't raise your hand. But they said, well, maybe it wasn't that successful, which I really was angry because these pilots took their life in their hands. 2 o'clock in the morning with no moon, dead dark, guns shooting at them. They went in with those beautiful B-2s, and every single bomb went down an air shaft and obliterated it. And CNN came out and said, well, maybe it wasn't, by a scam writer who wrote, fake stories, a lot of fake stories on other topics, right? Because when we did it, we said, that's a terrible thing. The pilots came back and they said, we hit everything. They did a great job. Then on top of that, we launched from a submarine about 30 Tomahawks on top of everything else. The place was obliterated. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. Turned out it was worse than it was. You know who could tell you that? The Iranians would tell you that. Because if they do anything, they're going to have to start a brand new place. But they did an amazing job. It was like what we did with Venezuela. I mean, nobody's ever seen a military operation.
So if you hold 6,800 here on the back test.
Unendable wars in 10 months. These were unendable wars. Cambodia and Thailand fighting for years. Kosovo and Serbia.
Bearish flow coming in on
the Congo
MU.
and Rwanda. Pakistan and India, they were really going at it. 8 planes shot
That
down.
MU daily looks like it's going to be rough.
I know.
Prime Minister
I'm tempted,
Pakistan
but
was here.
that name
He
is
said
freaking
President Trump saved 10
insane
million
to
people
try to
and maybe
short,
much
but-
more than that. They're both nuclear countries. Israel and Iran. Egypt.
I have no
and
idea what this
Ethiopia
guy's
were going
even
to fight
saying.
over a dam, and I got them to stop. I still got to work it out.
At this
Because
point,
they,
it's all
put a
getting
dam up in Ethiopia
getting
that
lost.
stops the flow from a little river called the Nile. I always think of the Nile being in Egypt, beautiful Nile.
A little river called the Nile.
They put a dam up. You know who paid for the dam? The United States of America. It's the biggest dam, I think, in the world. They put a dam up. I said, how did you let that happen? Why would we have done that? We financed it, this country. I don't know. Maybe it was a Republican president, but I don't think it was. I think it was a Democrat. But what a terrible thing. So Egypt basically is, they don't have enough water in the Nile. And they use that for a lot of things, including entertainment and travel and tourism and everything. I mean, I don't know. They got a big dam. I got to work that one out now, too. Armenia and
Bounces here,
Azerbaijan.
you get
President
confirmation
Putin
that the level's
told
decent.
me, I cannot believe you settled that war. I've been trying to settle that war for 10 years.
It may sleep one more
and
time.
Azerbaijan. They were fighting it for many, many years. And I ended up getting the heads of both countries in my office. Beautiful Oval Office, much more beautiful now than it ever was. And one sat on one side, one side of the other. He said, I've been the head of Azerbaijan for 22 years, and for 22 years I've been killing his people. And the other gentleman, and both very good guys, said, I've been here for 7 years, and for 7 years I've been killing his people. And they started over there, and within an hour they were next to each other, and by the time we ended, they were hugging each other, and it's been a great peace, Should have gotten the Nobel Prize for each war, but I don't say that. I saved millions and millions of people. And
Your
don't let
net
anyone
call
tell you that
premium
Norway
on
doesn't
SPY
control
is
the shots, okay?
it's slowly starting to increase.
It's in Norway.
With the put premium
Norway
coming
controls
down,
the shots. So we have nothing to do with it. It's a joke.
which
They've
is
lost such
good if you're
prestige.
trying to look for the longs
Got
down
all-
here.
That's why I have such
Needs a
respect
little
for
bit more
Maria doing
strength,
what
though,
she
from
did. She said, I don't
buyers.
deserve the Nobel Prize. He does. When she got it, they said, wow, that's amazing. I thought President Trump would get it. President Trump deserves it. He ended up 8
Just bounce off of
wars.
6,800 exactly.
How nice.
See if it holds.
Good woman.
I still think
Got all
MongoDB is a
20
fat
living
short,
hostages
dude.
returned to their families, and the remains.
that company has so many problems.
They all came out. We got the 20 living hostages.
MongoDB.
The 28 hostages.
They had a big hack, and like it just. I never used their API, but it left a bad taste in a lot of developers' mouths.
And more importantly,
I might
we got
reshort it
many
again.
more. Hundreds. We got them all. If we didn't do it,
Which ones did I take last time?
most of those people would have been dead. I don't know if that's covered properly, but you know, the 20 is great. They were the last ones. I always said the last 20 are going to be hard, but we got them. We got the last 20, and we got close to 28 of the bodies of the dead. And to those parents, that was just as important as getting their son back alive. They were almost even more intent on getting.
Took the 350s last time for 220.
We just created the Board of Peace, which I think is.
They're at 1,000 now.
I wish the United Nations could do more. I wish we didn't need a Board of Peace, but the United Nations, and you know, with all the wars I settled, the United Nations never helped me on one war. I mean, I guess I'm not blaming them. I didn't call them to help, but I got, you know, the presidents and prime ministers together. We knocked heads. We got along, and they liked me. I liked them. Every single one of them nominated.
Second chancer, you could get 6810 calls at 4.3. We're up to 4.6 now.
Me for a Nobel Prize. But Putin told me, I cannot believe you got this war settled. I worked on it for 10 years.
I think we can get a double.
His territory. Rescued 83 American hostages and citizens detained from abroad without paying
at these lows.
A lot of money. Paid no money. Apprehended terrorists responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing that claimed the lives of 13 U.S. service members in Afghanistan, the lowest point in the history of our country. That was a Biden disaster. I was getting out, but I was getting out with dignity and strength. We were the boss. Oh, we were the boss.
The only thing I don't see is like the aggression
against us.
Like the hot stove reaction.
Very stupid person got in, and what a shame. They should have left from Bagram, which is the big military base, which has hundreds of acres around it. Should have left from Bagram. Terminated visas of Hamas sympathizers and deported pro-jihad foreign nationals. Got NATO members to agree to raise defense spending to 5% of GDP from 2%, and they pay the 5%, and they didn't pay the 2%. And by the way, I did more for NATO than any other person alive or dead. Nobody's done for NATO. And I think for the most part, they'll tell you that. I think you could ask the Secretary General about that, but he said it a lot. I've done more for NATO than anybody, and I see all this stuff, but NATO has to treat us fairly, too. The big fear I have with NATO is we spend tremendous amounts of money with NATO, and I know we'll come to their rescue, but I just really do question whether or not they'll come to ours. You know, I'm just asking. Just saying, right? You remember during the debate? Just saying. Signed $1 trillion investment in U.S. military. And next year, we hopefully will go to a $1.5 trillion. We're building battleships that are 100 times more powerful than the battleships of World War II, which are the big, beautiful, those big, beautiful things with the guns. I said, what about bringing them out of dry dock? They said, sir, what we're building will blow them away. Think of it. These ships are 100 times more powerful than the battleships that you see on Victory at Sea. Do you ever see Victory at Sea? What a great thing that is to watch. Renamed the Department of Defense into the Department of War, which everyone loves, by the way. Signed landmark critical minerals deals with Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, Ukraine, Japan, and many others. We're going to have so much rare earth. It's actually not that rare. Getting it processed is rare, but there's a lot of rare earth. There's a lot of earth around, I can tell you. Withdrew from the World Health Organization, where we were paying
Amazon is drilling. Just broke 230.
So we were paying $500 million a year.
Looks like it wants new
China
lows.
is paying $37 million.
Tesla kind of the same deal.
The same as China.
With Apple.
He said, well, nobody asked.
Microsoft's actually pushing up.
China's got 1.4 billion people. We have 350 million, probably, with all the illegals, you know.
Amazon dropped a little bit lower, closer to daily trend line near 229.
We have much.
That's actually a decent spot for the longs.
We have a much more powerful military. but we have much
That doesn't
smaller. I
look
rebuilt
bad.
the military during my first
You guys
term.
want another basement
And
window
while they
kind
gave
of
away
now?
a lot to
TRI is
Afghanistan,
falling
the
off a cliff.
Taliban, which
Flipped
was
to me a
just
couple months
horrible
ago.
seeing
It's
them
still going
every
down.
year. Seeing them do that military down some dirty street is a disgrace. But while Biden gave a lot of it away, it's a tiny fraction compared to what we did. I rebuilt the military, and now we're continuing to build it, and bigger and better. We need it, peace through strength. But we withdrew from the corrupt World Health
There we
Organization.
go.
So I remember we
Bounce.
were paying 500 million. They were paying 37 or 39 million, and I said, "How come?" So I withdrew, and they called. We'll give you the same deal that they had. I said, "Well, it should be less than that, because if they're at 37, and you have 3 times, 4 times the number of people, even maybe 5 times, I don't know. So it should be less." But I didn't want to chisel around, and I thought about it. So I could have taken 500 million to 37, and everybody knew it. I chose not to do it because it was actually very popular when I got out, because they were terrible. And so I chose not to take that deal. First thing Biden did is go back into it. You know what he paid? More than 500 million. So I actually called them. I said, you can buy it for less. You can make a deal at 37. There's no reason to pay
Took off half
500.
here.
They didn't care. They paid more than 500. Did you know
No,
that?
I
They
trimmed
paid
like
more
a
than
quarter of the first
500
time. I'm taking
million.
off half
I
here,
made a deal
so
at 37. I could have had
winning
37.
trade
They
no
were
matter
public
what.
about it. We'll give you the
So
same
much
deal that
money.
China has for 37.
IWM starting
And
to
they
catch
paid
a
I think
nice
500.
we're
bounce.
yeah.
They paid
I think we're
500
fine.
million
I think we're gonna
dollars.
bounce here.
That's the way
I'm
you
green
ruin a
enough on the
country.
day that I
And it's
can
the same
hold it
attitude
here.
that
I'm gonna see if we can
we
get
have
back
and
to
everything else with these people. They
a
were
21
terrible.
EMA. We haven't
The
touched it in like
Anti-American
3
UN
hours.
Human Rights Council we
Probably
ended.
find
The
our way up there.
UN Relief and Works Agency we ended, and the fake
I have no idea what Trump's even
Paris
saying
Climate
at this
Accord,
point.
which was a ripoff of America. Well, we had to pay $1 trillion, and they were paying nothing. China didn't kick in until 2035. We kicked in immediately. We were supposed to pay $1 trillion. Russia went to a standard of 1991, which was a dirtier standard. But we had to pay top dollar. So I terminated that. Another Rick. We ended the woke lunacy and restored common sense, abolished all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI policies throughout the federal government and the private sector. They're gone, everybody. They're gone. Terrible. Terminated the Green New Scam and ended the insane electric vehicle mandate. I love electric vehicles. That caused me a little problem with a man named Elon. But he understands, and he's a good guy. We get along. But I said, Elon, we can't have all electric cars. We just can't do it. I like the electric cars. I like his car. But in particular, I like his car. But we can't do that because some people don't want an electric car by 2030. And to build the power stations all over the country would have cost $4 trillion. $4 trillion. That's more than any country has. If you got China, the United States, and everyone, you couldn't do it. And it would have taken years. And yet they were supposed to be switching over. Electric vehicle mandate. Some people don't like electric cars. Some people want hybrids. Some people want regular gasoline-powered cars. We have more gasoline than anybody. And now with Venezuela, we have 62% of the market when you include Venezuela. So I ended the Green New Scam, and I ended the insane electric vehicle mandate. Now you can buy a gasoline-powered car, a hybrid, and you can buy a electric vehicle. I mean, if you think, if you want electric, you can buy it. Make a good deal on them right now because they made a lot of them. Permanently stop Joe Biden's ridiculous CAFE standards. That's having to do with the environment. So ridiculous. Cancel the EPA's absurd, totally absurd, tailpipe emission standard, which made you spend hundreds of thousands. It made for hundreds of thousands of cars. The numbers, the cost numbers were incredible that the consumer has to pay. Imposed 25% tariff on all foreign automobiles and 100% tariff on Chinese cars, which don't come into the country because of tariffs. Only because of tariffs. We didn't have tariffs, you wouldn't have any car. We have now more car factories being built in the United States than ever before because of tariffs. If they take those tariffs away, China will eat our lunch. They'll take all of our car business. Now, there's another way of doing it, but it's more cumbersome, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to scare you, but it's much more cumbersome, not as good for national security as this. We have a perfect system right now. We're making a fortune. We've never been stronger, and I hope the Supreme Court does the right thing for our country, because if they don't, it's such a...
I think he's up here just freestyling, honestly.
It would be so sad. We're doing
I agree.
so well because of tariffs.
I don't think this...
And the people that are
Yeah, at this
heading
point,
up the
yeah,
lawsuit-
He just sent a text message to Caroline Levitt and was like, hey, I'm going to handle this today.
Yeah.
All right, do you want some talking points? Nah, I got it.
Nah, I got it.
Bad guy.
Literally, that's what happened.
And people that
He
are
mentioned
very
Greenland yet?
China-oriented and foreign
don't know how long
car-oriented
he's
and
been up
foreign
there.
business-oriented, but in particular China.
Oh, I think we're going to get a nice little
to get
pop
rid of
candle
tariffs
here
because
soon.
they don't want tariffs. Like Coke. Coke has businesses outside of the United States. If you have them outside, you don't want tariffs. But because of tariffs, they treat us well. Without tariffs, they would treat us very badly. As you saw for many years, they respect us more now than they ever have respected us by a lot. And revoked the California emissions waiver to stop San Francisco communists from regulating the automobile industry and destroying automobiles and the industry in the nation. I was with Bill Ford of Ford Motors. I was with all the people at General Motors the other day, and they are making more money and building more cars than they are doing so good. All because of tariffs and what I've done. And they're building their plants all in the United States. Reopened Anwar for drilling. That's a big deal. Launched a massive Alaskan pipeline project to export natural gas to Asia. We made a deal with South Korea and with Japan that gives us money, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. Signed executive orders to end Biden's war on coal and I say clean, beautiful coal. I never say the word coal. It has to be preceded by the words clean, beautiful coal. And put miners back to work. The miners love Trump. I think I got 100% of their vote. We banned transgenders from the military. We don't want transgender in the military. Ordered reinstatement of patriots expelled from our military with full back pay. So we had some people that were terminated and they're coming back into our military. Fired the woke boards of visitors at our military service academies. The boards of visitors were run by radical left.
It's still holding.
Maybe communists, maybe not, but they were still heavy left and they were bad for us.
Burning some premium, though.
Signed an executive order to remove anti-American
clothes.
propaganda from federal museums and national parks. Required the federal employees to return to work in person or be fired. We don't want them sitting in their home on their bed working. We want them in an office that we're paying for in Washington, D.C. or wherever it may be. And we've largely taken care of that mess. That was crazy. I guarantee you they're out on the ball fields. I guarantee you they're out playing golf. And you can't run a country or a company that way. I think it's happening even so with countries and companies. But we had so many of our federal workers, they wouldn't come into work. Signed an order banning all government censorship and restoring free speech. Made it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders. This was not a tough one. Two genders. Can anybody guess what they are? Male and female. I think the Democrats know that too, but they refuse to admit it. Ban the use of puberty blockers, hormone injections, and other chemical and surgical mutilation of children. Can you imagine saying this 15 years ago? That we banned the use of puberty blockers, hormone injections, and other chemical and surgical mutilation of our children. You know, when I say it, I say, do I have to say that? I actually ask my people today, yes, sir, because people, that's where the country went. Banned men from playing in women's sports. Big Supreme Court case on that. I mean, I can't believe it. Some of the justices were fighting hard for men to be able to play in women's sports, a couple of them. I can't imagine it, but I think anybody that rules that way should lose a lot of credibility. But We banned men from playing in women's sports. All you have to do is look at the records. Look at weightlifting records. Look at swimming records. Look at
Oh my gosh, the ramble, dude.
It's not fair. It's very demeaning to women. Banned transgender ideology and critical race theory from our schools. Secured unprecedented settlements with Brown University, Columbia University, and many other colleges, including the University of Pennsylvania, where I went, the great old Wharton School of Finance. To restore fairness and merit, we're working with Harvard right now. They've been very anti-Semitic. Terrible what they've done. And we'll see what happens. I hear we have a deal, but who the hell knows with them? They have a lawyer that wants to show how hot he is. Ended taxpayer-funded student loan forgiveness for radical left and anti-American activists. Can you believe it? Began the process of abolishing the Federal Department of Education and returning education back to the states. And Linda McMahon is doing a fantastic job. Ended Joe Biden's weaponization of our government and removed his hand-picked radical left Marxist prosecutors.
Sammy, we're just watching this Trump freestyle right now.
Jack sick son of a bitch.
Sounds good.
They gave me the worst of the worst. And here I am. How did that happen?
Go another minute or two maybe, and then
he's a sick guy, and Letitia James is sick.
Start talking
and
some
Alvin
trading.
Bragg is sick. They're sick people.
So a couple of the others show up here. We'll get
Fanny,
into the
Bonnie,
futures conversation. It's got to be better than this.
She doesn't like it.
You just never know, because it'll ramble for 45 minutes and then it'll say something and lose markets.
Has he even talked about Greenland?
Putting
I don't think so yet.
I don't even think there was a point of this press conference.
Was it? I thought that was the point.
Terrible crime.
For the most part.
He's weaponizing government.
Levitt was talking. And tomorrow he's going to Davos, and that's what he was talking about over there.
Can you imagine? They say to me about
Amazon new low. Meta headline.
But what they did to me, nobody ever went through what I went through. And here I am in a place called the White House. It's a beautiful place. Who would have thought, right? Signed legislation to cut all taxpayer funding to woke and biased NPR and PBS. And they're sort of gone now, I guess. I heard they closed up. They were terrible. They were so unfair. They were so terrible. Officially reinstated Columbus Day. I like the name Columbus Day. The Italian people are very happy about it. Remember, when you go to the voting booths, I reinstated Columbus Day. That was an easy one. Christopher Columbus. Cut Social Security wait times.
Not even how you pronounce his
by
name.
50%, serve 65% more
Spain sent him, not even Italy.
Social Security recipients by phone, and are on track to doubling the service and performance compared to the Biden administration. We're 2.5 to 3 times better and faster. Slash VA claims backlog to the lowest number ever recorded. Created Trump accounts starting with $1,000 for every newborn baby. This is something that's...
It's like, who was talking?
Oh, look at this guy. Oh,
it's like somebody sounded like Trump.
Yeah, we've been
we've been watching Trump. That's all I can handle at this point.
I just had to turn off.
What's up, Gov?
Yeah. What's happening, everybody?
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting speech. I don't think that did anything for us.
What interesting price actions today?
Name in my opinion, but I guess it was.
So I don't know about you guys, but when we get these really big moves, these outlandish moves, I lean heavily on a 4-hour chart, incorporating Globex, everything, just that broader time frame, and because NASDAQ is pretty much what leads us up and leads us down, I just lean on that, what the levels that's showing. And that kind of showed where we opened. You saw that we got down to that 25, 420, 430 area. Got down below that and it kind of pushed down and kind of snapped back. I was able to kind of short that 25, 400 off of that. You know, that took like probably about 120 points out of it. Nice little move. You know, and then basically, you know, we had that opportunity to short that again this morning. So it was a pretty good area. So we caught a long this morning and then reshorted that area for this move down here. But I'm not going to sit here and say I yielded 230 or 250 points. But you know what? Just taking the meat of the trade, right? High odds level, and staying out of the way. And I didn't go down to anything less than a 4-hour chart until we got close to my area, and then I went down to a 15-second chart, just looking for price and volume to help lead the way. How did you guys fare? What'd you guys do?
I haven't done anything but sell credit spreads this morning, personally. I know Emp had some.
I got long. Yeah, I got long. We were sitting on the golden retrace for NDX and a couple other things, so I was long. I was buying it down to like the 250s. So I think my average was like in the 280s, and I took that to about that 400, 430. My last term was at 428.
Yeah,
and it worked out. It was like a point from the high of day. And I scalped a little bit on this short on the way down, but I had such a good morning. I didn't really want to push it from that, so I kind of taking it easy. I'm long a little bit right here off this 135. I already scaled half, so
yeah,
free trade with a little extra money in the pocket here.
Honestly, for me too, this week there's nothing. It's really nothing to do with the charts. I just think like you gotta, if for trading and what we're doing, you gotta be very present. And I'm personally just like not super present in the market right now this week, and I don't think I will be, to be honest. So just getting back from traveling too, I just don't look to do anything. But it's not really because the market's necessarily bad. It's just me realizing like probably not present enough for this right now. So
I love it.
That's always important.
Great take.
I took a short off of 68.71. I had on 12 contracts, but I'm down to, I have one runner on still. So that one runner is doing very nicely, but I went ahead and closed 11, but like I said, I have one still on.
Do you have any
paper handed my short from earlier? I mean,
oh no.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, I know you had that way early. I forgot about that. Oh
I shorted QQQ at noon Eastern time, up there at 6:13.50, and Q's is now at 6:08. I'm disgusted that I paper handed that and went to lunch. But I don't foresee us going too much lower, honestly. I do have a spot here on SPY. I agree with Gov earlier with what he said, looking at the 4-hour chart and looking at SPY, we are entering into an area where I'd want to see buyers, present. I think a few names still look heavy. I think Amazon still looks heavy. It can go a little bit lower. I think Tesla, I think Apple, I think a few of these names can still go lower. So I'm going to be watching closer to 675 as we get down there on SPY before I really start looking to see any kind of life to, try along in this market.
Yeah, I see your level.
Trump is taking he's taking questions right now. Just a heads up if you're in a trade.
Oh, is he?
He's taking open questions. Go ahead, Guff.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, Casey, I see your level there. I can see the 675 to 676 area there.
Yeah.
It looks a bit supportive. It looks supportive. It looks like there's probably an open gap down there from back on the 17th of December.
Let me see. Yeah.
And then if you look at the Qs are kind of sitting right at kind of a key level here. It's 607, 607, 608 here. But you know what? I'm not doing anything. I mean, I had an exceptional day, and the fact that I actually paid attention yesterday and was kind of up late and caught part of that trade. I'm not trying to press things. Jordan, I love what you said.
Do you ever do that, Gov? Like you just know, like maybe stuff's happening outside of trading. You're not really mentally stable for it.
Jordan, it happened to me last week, the beginning of last week. I found myself just not. I couldn't get centered, and I kind of just told the guys in the room after I think Monday, Tuesday. I said, look, I know when I find myself feeling this way, I know I'm just off, and I don't want to sit here and try to pick a reason. It's just that I know I'm off. I'm gonna shut down, go for a nice walk, just walk away and reboot, and I'm gonna try to focus on larger time frames and see if I can, kind of develop a proper construct for like what is the market actually doing. Because sometimes we get so focused on those opening range breakouts and then like pressing the IB high and low and 50% retracements, we get kind of caught up in the weeds a bit, And when you're just not feeling your normal self, it's easy to start pressing buttons and there's just no good outcome. So I love what you said and what you did. It's like just recognizing that is such a huge thing.
Yeah, I just know plenty of times in the past I haven't listened to it, so I'm choosing to listen to it now. Tammy, did you have any thoughts on that? I know I've heard you take some kind of like mental breaks from trading here and there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. If I have too much going on, so for me, God is first and foremost in my life, and then my family, and then my career. And so if there's anything going on with my family, or I feel like I am not centered spiritually where I need to be, and my house is not in order also. I mean, all of those different things. Today has been a great day for me. I got the house cleaned up and organized over the weekend, and then I made put a roast in the crock pot this morning. The kids are happy, had great days at school. So today's been a great day. I've had a great trading day, and I really do. You've got to have your life in order. You need to have your room clean. Get up, make your bed, take care of yourself, work out, have yourself together physically, spiritually, emotionally before you sit down and start pressing buttons on the computer, as y'all said earlier, pressing buttons. If you don't have all of those things in order, then you have no business trading, because this is a business. This is your money, and it is a career, and you need to have all of those things in line in order to be a good trader.
Yeah, people expect to. I used to do this all the time. I used to expect to like be, I used to expect to not do, not hit the gym, not do this or that, like not be consistent in my outside life of trading, but then come to the desk and expect to be somehow consistent and disciplined at the desk. It just makes no sense when you frame it like that. It's like, how are you going to show up that one time out of the day and do everything else in your life the opposite? And that's where I just fully believe the way you do one thing is kind of the way you do everything, So
Absolutely.
I tell you what, every single morning I've got my routine, and that's the first thing is I make my bed, and it's not some,
because no matter what happens throughout the day, at least you made your bed. You got that right. You got one thing right. And
how do I
expect
success in the market hours if I don't start the day right when I wake up with success? And then it kind of goes into getting the push-ups going and brush your teeth and then get the coffee and maybe a bit of a walk. I do that every day. I've even got a routine when I come downstairs. I go to the front and I open, the blinds so I can get light in. I go to the back. I've got like things I do in that order. And then when I finally come into my trading room with my coffee, it's like, I'm centered. I'm on. I'm ready. Ready.
You're disciplined at the desk because you're a disciplined person in life, right? Like that's why you're disciplined. That's why you're consistent, because you're consistent with everything else outside of it as well.
If you start off the day with a degree of discipline, it's amazing how perpetuates throughout the day. Excuse me.
A snowball.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good.
And listen, if you're one of those people that's like single and not married with kids yet, it's a lot easier to be. So you really needed to get it together in that regards, because once you do get married and have children, especially when you have young children, I know Ryan can speak to this, especially right now. I know Casey can too. I'm not sure about who else has kids in here, like little kids in here. Kids are going to throw you off. They're going to throw your day off. So things are going to get unorganized in their own right when it comes to that kind of stuff. But you got to do the best you can to try to have everything else in line.
Yeah, definitely. What's up, Smooth?
Oh, I like that.
Different location this time, huh? Good afternoon. Oh, your mic sounds far away.
Amazon reclaiming 230. A little bit of strength off these lows.
There he is.
How's that one?
There he is. Now we got you.
There you go.
Yeah, Amazon is testing the 786 retracement of the swing up from the from the, let's see, what low is that? The low of January 2nd. So Amazon's still looking good. I've got an Amazon trade on right now that, I wasn't going to let it kind of go down this far because it did fall between the 50 simple, but I am waiting to see if it can hold this 228.29 area.
That's my entry spot.
It is. Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that.
The weekly chart, if you do, I use weekly 9, 21, 50 as well. But your weekly 21 is currently right at 229.50. And if you just mark all the previous week lows, you have a trend line right here of all these higher lows that's been putting in. So
Okay.
I'm watching I'm waiting for it to sweep down close to that 229. And I'm probably going to end up buying some calls for Amazon down there.
Oh, I like to hear that. Okay, great. That's great to hear. Awesome.
What are you looking at right now, Lee?
I got a kind of discussed it this morning with Gov and the guys on a larger time frame. We have an almost completed harmonic bullish structure. Kind of watching for this 67.97 ultimately to see what happens there. We don't want to see it go much lower than that. Then start looking for some retracement. This morning out of the gate, I was looking at this. I had a monthly pivot at 886 that kind of lined up with a 50 fib or close to it. The 50 fib in this pattern was around 82.75. So I was shorting out of the gate this morning up at that level. Got a couple nice trades there, and then we kind of poked above there, and I didn't want to mess around long because I ultimately felt that we had a little more room to the downside, which obviously we've seen this afternoon. So just kind of waiting to see what happens now. But this started back in mid-December I'm looking at it on a 4-hour chart. So yeah, ultimately we got a level down at 68.19, which is 786, and then the 886 at 67.97, and that will complete this current harmonic, which is an M basically formation, and then that's pretty bullish on a 4-hour chart. But we're talking technicals. There's a lot of other geopolitical BS happening. So
well, yeah, we just had Trump speaking and all that.
So news beats technicals almost 100% of the time. If news and technicals align, that's when you get kind of the sweet spot. So but we'll see. I can share my chart if you want to kind of see what I'm looking at.
Yeah, sure. Throw it up there.
There we go. That should be it.
Got it.
I do believe. My chart's up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can see that this is back in December 17th. We had that retracement into the new year. Had a little run up here. The measurements will work for the harmonic. So it's kind of what I've got mapped out that I shared this morning. This is the 886. It's 67.97. Rarely do we get kind of like we come down here and just bounce all the way back up to all-time highs. We're going to kind of wait for another structure to come into play. Maybe we get a little bit of a W and we get an opportunity here for the entry. We see that quite often, these back-to-back harmonics on these larger time frames. So that's something, maybe we get a little, inverted head and shoulders to take us up. Some sort of structure that would give us that signal for long. But it doesn't mean you can't scalp kind of a shorter term. You can zoom into your 5-minute charts and look for these levels. And if they're going to get some sort of a reaction or you get some confluence with the pivot, you can certainly take little scalps off of these levels. But for the larger moves, if you're looking to swing something like some SPX options, SPY options, something like that, then I'm waiting for more of a structure to take us back up. So that's what I'm looking at.
Not much in that same area. See if we want to take out those lows or kind of make a higher low from there.
Yeah. And, those are the primary harmonics. They kind of seem to work more than the others. But if you lose this level, then we're probably coming down to at least a 113.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at.
And maybe even down all the way down to a 161.8. And that still would qualify as a harmonic. So that's kind of why I like to see these turn at the 886. That's kind of the point of no return. If they get below that, then you really have a wide band of areas that you're looking for potential reversal zone. So right now we're kind of in a smaller reversal zone. So hopefully we can see something set up there.
NVIDIA just broke down new lows, as did Apple. They're both selling. So they're still putting a little bit of pressure on Qs. But then again, you have your names like Amazon, green, last 4 or 5 minute candles. Nice bounce there. But NVIDIA has been stuck for a minute. It just broke and made new lows. Apple looks disgusting. I think it's going to hit 245.
I agree with that.
So definitely an interesting time, especially geopolitically.
Yeah, this is a time where you wake up and VIX is at 20, and you gotta size down a bit, huh? I'm always sizing down when that VIX just gets up here.
That was why I was comfortable taking the trade I took this morning. I just one and done it. I was looking at the ranges that we had. I was like, I'm gonna extract a few micros from this.
More times than not, I am one and done.
Felt comfortable
with you
at that size with the risk. You could push the amount of points to stay in the trade and still capture the same dollar amount even on the profit.
Emp says restream keeps crashing. Mine is like glitching out. So if this stream rugs, you guys know why. Restream's giving us issues today, so just beware. But I think we're okay. Just kind of.
I'll be right back. My timer for the roast is going off.
No worries. Handle that roast. Gold and silver just not stopping either. I feel like I say that every day. It's so boring, honestly. But let her cook.
Apple thinking 50 days soon. I have Apple well below that.
50 day? It's got to be below the 50 day. I don't have it on my chart, but where we're at.
I'll say I have Apple well below that. Chas desk, like way below it. But looking at the lows back from October, I think it'd be an interesting spot close to that 245 area for a bounce.
50 SMA, yeah, it's gonna be different.
I have on the daily, your 50 SMA is a lot higher. We're well below that.
That circle's down 7%. Still Rocket Lab too. Those space names rolled back over. I couldn't believe ASTS after ripping like it did it. I guess it's still an inside day, but
I'm curious if LMT could bounce at 570. Draw the fib from that earnings breakdown to the October high, and 570s is the level.
Well, I said Rocket Lab would go to 100 on Charles Payne when I went up there to go live, and people thought I was nuts, and it went to 99.58 and then rolled over. So
round it up.
It's back in when was that? December 4th when it was at $44.
The 200, yes, your 200 SMA is at 234. That is correct, Chas desk. Correct mundo. Apple, another new low candle. Not looking good.
Uh-oh.
There's no way this is a swing short overnight on SPY and Qs, right?
I do not want to fathom such a thing.
I'm not going to be swinging anything on SPY and Qs overnight.
No way.
But I don't. I don't
Doesn't
think we
seem
would
like-
see previous month low tomorrow overnight, but maybe.
Doesn't seem like there's any interest in the indices at this level. We'll get something into close just because it's into close, but
Oh yeah, Q's is sitting on the 100-day.
That's the thing, is like we're getting to an area where I want to attempt longs. It's just hitting these areas, getting to these spots of support on SPY and Qs. I don't see any buyers coming in present yet. So it's very strange. I mean, sellers will still remain in control, and that just makes me wonder if we're just going to see another leg down and see previous month lows. I mean, tomorrow, see SPY drop another $6, closer to 671. CQs drop another $7, go to 600. It'd be very interesting to see if that actually happens after this drop that we've had over the weekend. Apple is knifing.
It's difficult to be a confident bear.
yes, I agree with that.
But, you know, how many times can you buy the dip?
Did Tesla finally break down? That was another one that was looking weak a little bit ago. Yep, there goes Tesla with volume. 420 break straight down to 418. New lows. Gosh. It's like if you're seeing that kind of action on Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia, it doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies to look at longs on SPY and Qs right here. I'll tell you what though, Amazon's putting in a nice 15-minute reversal going into the end of the day. Oh my goodness. And there you have it. Apple hitting October 2025 lows. That is an ugly, ugly daily candle, minus 4% on the stock today.
I'd say Google down 8 on the day. That's hanging in there okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I know a lot of people having restream issues today.
Good afternoon.
I was just muted because I was typing and I had a little spiel, but good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Is it working for everybody now?
Some people.
They wouldn't let me on for a few minutes there.
Yeah.
What's going on, Casey? How are you?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Doing well.
Dude, what's hilarious is that Jordan and Emp are the ones that are running the restream, but both of them are having it crash for them.
Yeah, I had to restart my browser and join from a different browser.
Were you using Chrome?
I was using Edge, and now I'm using Chrome.
Okay. Emp was on Chrome earlier saying he was having issues. Oh, he's back.
I tried to open my code editor and it never works for me on rug myself.
He said, I can't get in, it just crashes. Emp, if you guys can't control the restream, who's going to be able to shut this thing down? Or are we just going to run it 24/7?
It'll just stay up till the end of time.
No one can close this thing. We can all leave, but it won't close it. I'm gonna purposely not leave. I'll just
Just stay streaming.
Yeah, I'll just leave it on the entire time.
Yeah,
24
right.
hours.
Today.
So we're going to act like John Glenn and keep circling the moon or the Earth.
Is anyone? Trump's about to finish up. Thinking we can get some kind of relief bounce right here.
Is he speaking right now? I haven't even paid
Oh,
attention.
Yeah,
dude's been talking for like 2.5 hours.
About what?
Anything and everything.
Yeah.
But he pretty much prefaced, I have a lot of time, so I'm probably going to cover a lot of stuff, not in any necessary order. He pretty much warned everybody.
Yeah,
I was laughing. I was like, oh boy.
ES bounced off that 29, 68.25 level. A high probability of it breaking. At the 6800 level, yesterday there was positive gamma exposure at that 6800 a little bit. Today there's a lot of negative gamma exposure. So that strike, instead of now being a support level, would act as like a trapdoor. You'd just be able to slide just butter right through that with that negative exposure. The asset itself is also very negative gamma, so the moves are reinforced by market makers. They have to either short with the downtrend or buy with the uptrend to hedge their positions.
Yep, delta neutral play. Yep.
Dude, am I crazy to try to swing long Apple overnight? I think so.
I think everybody needs to have their shopping cart out. I totally think that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can, there's key stocks you want over the longer term. If you can buy them at good prices, why wouldn't you add? You're just averaging stuff that we bought last October, November, and April. You're just averaging a little bit higher, you know.
Yeah.
Jumper's finished.
Well, I guess, and I don't know if I can even share my screen because I don't think they're on. Can I? Let me see. We're gonna give it a go.
No, I don't think anybody can approve it.
Nope.
We can send the request. Oh, he said I can.
And
Oh,
so I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to share sort of just an overall market perspective. And, you know, we talked about this last week, actually, on this very stream. So I have ES up and NQ side by side, or as they say in some parts of Rhode Island, side by each. But which I always thought was a very bizarre way to say that. Anyway, sort of the lines I have here, right? So we were talking about this trend line on ES, right? And how we were pushing up against this last week, but we were getting really, really narrow. And I deliberately left this exact chart up with these exact drawings from last week's streams for this reason, was that we were talking about, so we just could not get over this area on NQ. I still have QQQ 600 puts for February OPEX. Those are doing great today. You know, I bought those on stream 2 weeks ago, maybe, just when we were starting to get into this tight area here. Now, this pink line that you see here is going to be your 100-day. That's on NQ. This blue line here that you're seeing on ES is your 50-day. Now, we just got below the 50-day. So what Gov was just talking about and, you know, sort of buying and adding to things, I'm not. One of sort of my rules is I like to wait until at least the 100 on the SPOOs, and we're sitting there on the NQ, which means it could be supportive here, which is probably why we're not seeing a real flush out here into the last 20 minutes of the day. And I mean, it's still possible, but this is a buy area, and this is a buy area.
I'm long NASDAQ 120.
What's that?
I'm long NASDAQ 120.
Yeah, I think this is a great area to take a shot long, especially on the NASDAQ, because you do have this 25, 117, 15 points below us. That's the 100-day moving average. However, you've got this 50-day that's probably going to cap us on ES, but that's 28 points higher. So I think there's a really good opportunity for a long here into the close. But I'm really not all that. I want to see how this plays out here. with the Nasdaq 100-day. If we see this bounce on the 100-day, I think this is a good spot to add to some stuff. But I think we have 25,900 sort of right below us on the Nasdaq. But I'd really be looking for an ES move down into the 6750, 6760 area before I'm really sort of thinking about adding a whole bunch of stuff. But I do think this is a worthy NQ shot, and I'm actually probably going to do that as well here.
What do we think about Tesla right here?
That's a Lee question.
Lee, any thoughts? I'm just kind of expanding my cart here. Because I don't have any, I'm kind of out of a lot of my Tesla stuff from just years ago, but that's in a different account.
Look at Tesla on daily. Let's look at Tesla on daily. Why not?
I think your 416.50 could be a decent area down here when you're getting close.
I just posted
So
a couple of
this is-
clusters of support. I have a cluster of support 412 to 17. And then if that didn't hold, I have another cluster 404 to 08. Now, if that 404 to 08 level did not hold, then I think we'll retest the previous low of 382 or make a lower low. So the two
Yeah.
clusters are 412 to 17 and 404 to 08. I posted them in the chat earlier.
Here's what I'm looking at. Go back and look at Monday, the 24th of November. That was a nice breakout. That was a breakout move to the upside. We're effectively revisiting the scene of the crime. So I'm kind of partial to kind of adding some longs in here. I definitely see the areas, Tammy, you were referring to below. But I mean, this 400 to 420 areas, I'm okay adding some longs.
Yeah, I think that is a good zone of risk, is 400 to 420. Absolutely.
So the only thing I'm seeing on Teslas again, sort of, and I use on daily charts, I use moving averages for stock positions a lot. We just broke below the 100-day, sort of came up here and rejected. That's pretty much it, right on the high of the day today on Tesla. I think I would probably wait until that broke back to the upside before I was an adder for a swing position Tesla.
Yeah, I did take a 15-point scale on the NASDAQ just because of the nature of the time of day, what we're looking at here. My basis is right here at 115 on remaining half.
Yeah, I just got my long here at 119. I filled to a half-size position here.
Did you guys have Robinhood futures on before us?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Maybe that was last week, right?
Oh, Apple 245 break. Disgusting.
Wow.
Shopify down 7.3%.
Hey, isn't Apple at a key area here though? 245?
Yeah. I just had an alert go off, like start looking to potentially longer see buyers present in this area.
Yeah, I'm looking back at mid-October. This was kind of a key area that held.
I like it.
I do too. A lot of room for the upside here. Definable risk area. Maybe be able to price out some calls for like maybe like 260s for 2 weeks out.
I'm looking at February 20th.
That looks like a good spot on Apple.
Yeah.
260s for February 20th.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. What are they priced at?
330 a contract.
That's not that bad. I wouldn't want to go any higher because I see that 265 a bit of resistance.
Yeah.
Probably get a quick erosion of premium in there.
I'm a little skeptical of this low hold.
Oh, man.
I don't have anything on.
And there goes Mild. Yeah, there's some good call flow on ticker BSX, Boston Scientific Corporation, some $95 calls for April. They do have earnings on February 4th, but relative strength today. Right now, stock is green, up 3.5%, looking good after the move downside. And again, just some good call from these 95s with a little bit of time past their earnings. Let me see what they're up to now because I
Yeah,
checked a little bit
what
ago.
expiry were you on?
It was $95 calls for 4/17/2026.
Thank you.
So far today, almost $2 million worth of call flow has come in on these contracts.
Wow.
They started buying them around 3.5 earlier this afternoon.
I was stopped and in queue at break even, by the way.
Weekly came back down.
I might get back in.
The weekly came back down to the April dip of 2025 near that area around 87, getting a nice bounce so far. So getting back above like 91.50, 91.70 looks good to get that move back up, honestly, to 95.
Breaking 68.25s on ES. Had a high probability of breaking in here.
Look at Apple just dying. Oh my gosh.
Well, I see the significance of this area in Boston Scientific. This 87 area, it kind of rejected off of.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah. Monthly candle just about got down there as well.
It doesn't seem like there's any interest in this level on the indices
Yeah.
on either side. 15 minutes before close too.
Yeah, we got MOC in 5 minutes.
I don't want to front run a position when I feel like nobody's taking anything.
That AVGO.
We swept 68.25s on ES. Maybe that could have been all it needs into the end of the day for a little bit, and nothing too crazy for me.
AVGO does not look good. TSM looks disgusting.
I didn't even notice this. Soldier Boy ticker U is still up to strain today by a lot.
Yeah, a lot of the names I was looking at today were names like that. Also, energy names held up decently with the gap down in the market over the weekend. A lot of your energy names still looked pretty good. They didn't really move too much today, even put this down to like XOM actually opened up above previous session high on Friday. Duke Energy still holding up. NEE is holding up over there as well.
See, guys that are out there that heard that we kind of dabbled in just a little bit of a long on the NQ. It was against a kind of a key area in the Qs we were seeing. So it was just a shot. We've got plenty of credits, but we're not disavowing the fact that we've been in a 5-minute absolute downtrend. since testing those highs and a breach of 25,300. There's been no sign of any uptick. It's been in a solid trend down ever since. And that was late in the morning. So basically just a little stab, and notice I took a 15-point scale just to protect myself. So I got stopped out at break even, and I can always get back in. It's just kind of like a little thing I do personally. It helps me also just kind of trade around and add to a position or kind of scale out. Just keep trimming until I can get a sense of what it wants to do. And I know we're coming into the last 10 minutes of the day, so do we have any sort of, any sort of profit taking for any people that have been short, possible? I don't know, people might maybe a little shopping in a couple of individual components. I did get back in a little short, right around 122. And real small in the case that we just get buyers here. So 25, 122 is the entry. And my stop I'll have about a 25-point stop. My size is, I've sized accordingly to absorb that level of risk. Is Trump still talking? No, looks like somebody.
No, I think he's done.
Yeah, he's done. I guess we got some ICE guys talking, so I'm not paying attention to that. How about them Hoosiers? That was a great game, man.
Yeah, I was glad to see him win personally as a Georgia Bulldog. So I know that it might not seem to make sense because Carson Beck went to Miami, but a lot of us Georgia Bulldogs have a bad taste in our mouth from him. But yeah, it was really nice to see the Hoosiers win. That was awesome.
Good game. I mean, it's crazy. The Heisman Trophy winner just totally lays out and gets whacked, and to get that touchdown, that was awesome.
Netflix has earnings after the bell.
What are we saying about Netflix here?
Oh, really?
Has earnings after the bell.
Yep.
Oh.
That's right.
It is flat on the day at 88s.
Yeah, there was some flow earlier on $91 calls. What we got? MOC in about 38 seconds. Apple still dying. I'm probably going to end up taking a small position here in these BSX for a small swing for a potential earnings run up play to 93.95. We're at $405 right now.
Seems like a bit more interest on these levels on the indexes. I probably won't play them with 10 minutes left.
I guess so.
Here he is.
Hey,
Ridiculous, man.
Jordan's back. Holy MOC, Apple just got a weird candle.
Oh, we're at MOC already, huh? Jeez,
Yeah.
I missed it all.
You missed everything.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with my connections, but
It's just restream.
well, and then my Wi-Fi went out too.
Oh,
Just
snap.
restream. Yeah.
You know what I had to do for the
Phenomenal.
restream? You know what? I had to take it so it wasn't populating in my Twitter feed with the Twitter. I don't know, the X. You get all the columns and shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
I could only get that in my phone, so I went to my phone and I just kind of did the copy the link, and pasted in an email to myself, and I opened up no problem on my desktop, just vis-a-vis my email. So I didn't have any hiccups on it.
MOC very, very
You got
small. Yeah. S&P minus 56 million. NASDAQ minus 625 million.
Oh, it's tiny.
Very.
We're almost to
Very
this
tiny.
overnight low. I think we already took it on ES though. What's up, Nara? Sorry I wasn't around. Having some technical difficulties.
All good.
How's the week been? How's the morning been so far?
Decent day.
Yeah.
Some of my automated stuff was down and made a pretty remarkable recovery, so it's a good day.
Very nice.
I think you annihilated it on the automateds on Friday, didn't you?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I saw.
Yeah, it was a good day.
I'm taking a little mental break from the charts, to be honest, but still sold some credit spreads this morning, which those are about to expire right now. Worthless. Let's go. That'll be nice.
This is the automated strat. I think I have it up here that I've been fiddling with the last couple of days.
The secret lab.
Yeah, 3-minute NQ.
Specific to 3-minute only?
Yeah, well, I mean, you
Interesting.
can run this strategy on anything, but this is what I've been messing with the last couple of days, and I've been running it about a week. Today was the first time I took max loss, which was a $1,200 loss per contract. If you're running one full one, I'm running it on 5 micros, so a $600 loss, but it ended up flattening itself out the rest of the day. So actually quite happy with that.
Yeah.
But saying it's 80% profit or something like that. 88. But when I saw the back test, I was like, yeah, this can't be right. No way. So, testing it. So far, it's right. So,
hey, love to see it.
Yeah.
Love to see it. We got earnings season coming up, too. Should be fun for some of the intraday trading.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Even with these expanded indices.
You more gas pedal on usually, or a little more chill?
What was that?
During earnings?
Yeah.
I mean, for trading, earnings doesn't really affect me. Just sort of, you might want to not be in the 4 to 5 hour. But, you know, earnings is not going to be a hit the brake pedal thing, really. Unless something like catastrophic happened. But I wouldn't want automated stuff running during the 4 to 5 hour, and manually trading that. But I'm not really trading that time anyways. So
yeah,
I'm getting a sell into the close here.
I'll go back to what Smooth said earlier, touch on where he said, and this kind of reminded me of, you know, with earnings also, which is when he said, you know, news can beat technicals, you know, but it's nice when news and technicals come together and do the same, you know, and agree with each other. So that's the same way I feel about earnings. What I say to people is anything can happen with earnings. Anything can happen with earnings. So even if I have levels of support or levels of resistance, they can be sliced through like warm butter. So, you know, earnings are at the end of the day a gamble. You know, as my one of my mentors likes to say, a crapshoot. So just always remember that.
Yeah, I never have any desire to touch the market after hours when earnings are going off or trying to trade any of that. Just doesn't seem very high probable.
I just like to watch my long-term holds gap up.
Yeah.
Well,
Apple
to me,
getting a
it
little
feels
bottom
like a long-
wiki and pushy here into the close.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a level on Apple 241 to 43 on a monthly chart. So I didn't say that earlier, but that I'm looking at that level on a monthly chart, 241 to 43.
I have 241.40 on my chart.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I have 241 to 43 on a monthly. I mean, y'all know I look at hundreds.
I'm going to take these apples small for a little swing.
He's tagging them.
Yeah.
Lang.
All right.
And I have something called a bullish two-step pattern on NVIDIA. And that setup zone, we're a tiny bit into it, but the setup zone is 174 to 79. I actually posted NVIDIA I think I posted on my profile earlier. But that's why, you know, follow me at TraderTammy1, because I do give free charts on X. In addition to, I do have a free newsletter that has ES, NQ, GC, and crude. And you can sign up for that. I send it out every morning around 7:30 a.m. Eastern. So it gives you plenty of time to see what's happened overnight before the market opens.
Very nice.
But you can sign up for that. on FibonacciPrincess.com. I started it a couple weeks ago.
Let's go.
And I also don't just give the charts. I explain what's going on them because I know my charts are confusing.
Yeah, explain all the fibs and everything.
Yeah, yeah. This is what you're looking at.
And give me a pop in the
same
160. I'm looking for 160 scale.
Nice poppers.
Amazon's
light
looking
MOC.
good.
Yeah. Those spreads be sold at 14 cents or about to expire and nothing. We love that.
I wanted Amazon a little bit lower.
Where did you enter the credit spread, and where's it going to expire?
I sold it at 14 cents, and
Nice.
yes, it'll expire 0.
At zero.
But I bought puts as well because it's a spread. So on the actual spread, I got 11 cents of premium versus 14.
My brain wants to short.
So you starting to size up on those?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's the cool thing when you're trading spreads. When you really get a handle of it, you can actually put decent size on the spreads.
It's really majority of the time just about the time of day that I'm trying to do it. That's the only thing that really screws you, because it's like these contracts are going to expire no matter what, but can you place yourself to where you're not going to get too far in drawdown before you actually get what you want?
Are you finding it helping you on relative to direction of market? A lot of times there's just an amazing way of what you can kind of learn the price action through the spreads. It gives you an idea for like outright directions.
I don't know if
it was for interest rates.
I don't know for me if it helps my directional trading at all, but it more is just like, for instance, I'll be looking at a big gap I want us to tap into on the downside to trade out of long. Now, for me to actually get a position long, I have to see a setup in that area. I can't just like, we tapped in the area and long it.
Oh, absolutely.
But with a credit spread, I've found I can very much almost try and top tick / bottom tick, quote unquote, with the
Taking KO
spreads, right?
$72 calls February 20th.
So in a sense of picking one leg off?
Yeah, well, I'm never sitting there going, I need to see my whole setup to get this credit spread. It's literally like, this is the area where the premium is. I'm taking it, and I'm running a 200% stop loss on my spreads right now. So if I hit 200% negative, then I'm out, and anything other than that, I'm getting full profit. But I'm just using them to kind of bottom tick and top tick rather than what I do directionally trading, because I have to wait for so much more on that end. I'm just like saying, hey, we tapped into this 4-hour gap to the downside. I'm selling puts because I have such a strong idea that we will get a move out of here. But it's not good enough for me to like go directionally, right?
Right. Go.
Because that's the nice thing about spreads is like, because I could barely get the idea that I have right and still perform well on the spreads. And that helps a lot.
Yeah, that will be crystallized in time.
There's close.
So yeah, it's been fun. It's been helping me out
on Apple into the close.
When things are slower on directional side of things. It's nice to know like I can try and still make some money. I'm not like bored out of my mind. But
that's how I learned to trade, just trading spreads between the second and third year part of the yield curve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really, there's a testament to how I learned to trade right there.
I will say it does help your futures trading. Like, I guess it doesn't help me necessarily see direction better, but it helps me because, hey, like there's a day where we chop sideways and I'm still making money. I'm not sitting there trying to force a directional trade in a horrible environment, right? So it does benefit my trading for sure. Just not like directly giving me more insight, I guess. Yeah.
See if I can get a 160 scale here.
Yeah, get out the rest of them. Nice bounce into close. We'll see what this market wants to do in the morning. I mean, we're basically at the bottom of this daily range.
You got Netflix about to come out.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's about a report as well.
It's already starting to rug a little bit.
Yeah, she's dropping a bit. No, I don't see nothing yet.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Nora, I know you went through some of your strategies probably already before I was able to hop on, but Ones you're looking at right now.
Tell them about the ones on Friday that really worked, and then maybe
Let's see that.
start working today.
To be honest, I don't remember what I had that really killed it on Friday. I would need to look back.
Just go to the Discord and go look at what you posted on Friday. Or maybe, or was it yesterday? Maybe yesterday.
Friday.
Did you guys trade the bank holiday yesterday much?
No, not really at all.
I traded the NASDAQ just because I saw where it was. I saw the move and I was paying attention, and I caught a little bit of it.
Emp was trading it on the plane. On MLK Day, on a plane.
I had to get up for a call, and so I was on the call, and I was like, I just opened up the charts, and I was like, oh, I see that, and so just 2 break-even trades.
Nice.
Did you guys go anywhere fun, or did you guys scoot to Puerto Rico again for the weekend?
Oh no, we were out in Tennessee for like 4 days.
Nice.
It's freezing my ass off, Jeff.
20
degrees.
Nashville?
No, we went to Knoxville.
I love Knoxville.
Just outside of Knoxville. Like Seaverville, Gatlinburg.
So that's a killer place in the summer with all the lakes and everything.
Oh yeah. No, it was cool. It was cool, even in the cold. It was a good time.
Unreal.
Oh, this looks looking good.
Oh, there goes Netflix.
Yeah,
she's dropping.
There it is. All right, earnings are out. EPS 0.56 versus 0.55. Revenue 12.05 billion. Estimate was 11.97 billion. So that is a small double beat.
Small double beat. Initial move down.
If I'm reading this correctly. Financial Juice.
Yep, I got the same.
All right.
Well, guys, I have another call I have to prepare for that I'm on at 4:30. So
No worries,
I'm going to
Tammy.
go ahead and get out of here. But thank you for having me again. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.
Good to see you as always.
Great evening.
Tammy.
Talk soon.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, Tammy.
Nara, run me through these strategies.
Yeah, so I mean, still running the same ones that we were running last week. Sort of just refining things as usual, and I've been playing with some other things and testing some other things. This has been the real test of the last couple of, so I think we're on day 7 of testing now.
Okay.
So I had ran this back test and over the last 90 days. I mean, 90 days, I was like, okay, this looks crazy. And then 30 days, no, it looks crazy still, but it doesn't look insane. Like it's possible that it could be decent. Now, I've been running it the last 7 days to sort of see if this was anywhere near reality, right? And my first instinct was no, there's no way that this is going to be really how well it does. And the reason is this strategy, and this is an NQ strategy, it has a trailing stop in it. And the problem with trailing stops is that TradingView is not great at calculating them just sort of on a back test basis. So it doesn't mean that a strategy that has a trailing stop is inherently bad, or that it's sort of fool's gold in terms of what you're going to get. But what it does mean is you're going to have to take some time and forward test and actually run it in a live market to see how it reacts in a live market. Now, some people that have been in the ClearEdge room have been running this strategy 24 hours a day. I've chose to only run it from Europe Open, skip the Asia session. That's more of a personal preference that I've found that automated indexes are not my favorite during Asia session. So yeah. I like this one to start at 4 a.m. Now I'm not awake at 4 a.m. So the nice part about automation is it starts itself at 4 a.m. based on the parameters that I have set. So this is actually a strategy that I built about a couple of years ago, and it's gotten refined over time. And this one is called Secret Lab. And really the only inputs that you can input here is when you start it, and you can see I have it started at 4 a.m. When you end it, I have it started at 16, so 4 o'clock Eastern. And then sort of here, I have this at profit target 60, which is sort of high. I know for a fact that this is very rarely going to get to a 60-point profit target. Stop loss, I have at 60 also. So it's essentially 1-to-1, but I know that the trail is going to kick in here. I have it set at 11.5 points. I know it's going to kick in, right?
So is that once you achieve 11.5 points, it kicks in that, or is it like
11.5 points? Then the trailing stop kicks in,
Got it.
sort of following you by a point. So what the strategy is looking for is it's looking for a quick move and a quick sort of volume momentum move, and then letting the trail kick in and exit you that way. Now, this was an experiment, right? This wasn't me sitting here saying, yeah, this is definitely going to work. This is just sort of the way that I tinker. Everyone sort of tinkers in automation slightly different. I usually tinker by finding something that I think could be in the realm of working and then putting it on an account and seeing how it does. So this is actually done quite well. And now, has it done this well? No, it has not. And it's not that it actually has had much more of a drawdown. Where I've seen a little difference is actually in the total P&L. I'm trading it on a 150K practice account. So it's actually a Top Step practice account, and it's got 4,500 of drawdown, I believe. And it's been making money, and it's probably up. I think I started it. When did I start? Wednesday of last week. So 1, 2, 3, 3.5 trading days, 4.5 trading days if you include yesterday's trade. But it's up about $5,000. So that's not bad in terms of, it should be up like 5.5 or 6. I think it's like at 4,800. But now the profit factor being up here at 5.6, that was a big red flag for me. Hey, yeah, I don't think this works. And having it be profitable 94% of the time. Now, I've just been running it to see what it did, and it's actually been pretty damn good. Now, it took a max loss, which is 60 points today, 1,200. But that was the first max loss that I had on it since I've been running it, so 4 days. Now, it ended up the day at, let me just check here, negative $278. So it took a $600 loss here, because remember, I'm running it at 5 micros. So, do the math there. I'm trading half this size, 600 loss, and it ended up just slightly down. That's not a bad day for taking a max loss. So runs on a 3-minute chart. On Monday, yesterday, it did not take a loss. Then the Friday before, it was
later,
killer.
Casey.
Just sort of taking
Later,
these
guys.
$300 winners. And I'm going to continue to test it. This is a strategy that's available in our marketplace. People have been asking for NQ settings on it. I haven't ran this on NQ. It was built to run ES, but the people want what the people want, and so we're testing out some NQ settings now, and
we love our NQ.
It's been going great so far. I have no complaints about it. Is it going to match the back test exactly? Nope. It's got a trail stop. You have a 1 second or so lag that comes from the trading view side. So, you're going to have times when that, and people call it slippage. I think that's the wrong word for it. I think the better word is lag or delay. Slippage is sort of a very unique term to
it's
trade.
A different thing.
That's not what's happening here. There's a delay in trading view getting signal from the strategy to the point of it actually sending an alert, which is what it takes to execute a trade on our software. So our software can execute NQ very well, as long as trading view is reasonably on time with the alerts. So today's
Sub-
been good. Very much
sub 100 millisecond on Tradify.
Say that again.
We're executing sub 100 milliseconds. So
Yeah, I think it depends on connection. You know, our speed itself is really, really good on Tradify. Let me see what my last Tradify order was. My last Tradify order was 176. If you have a really fast internet connection, you're probably going to get that sub 100 millisecond, and you're wired if you're on.
Especially if you're only running a couple strats too.
Exactly. I mean, I'm running 40 different things at the moment, but
it's nice to know though, running all that, you're still getting good.
Still getting great time. But,
yeah.
You know, exactly. One of the things that we really try and sort of impress on our customers and our potential customers is like what reality is versus what Instagram ads say, and you know, try and keep people grounded in sort of expectation. Expectation for automation should be that it doesn't blow you up if you do it right, and it grinds cash higher. It's not some get rich by a Lambo, you know, thing.
No, this is supplement.
It's not how it is. This is reality trading.
Yeah,
we can cut people's you know, time way down on the learning curve to becoming a profitable trader with automation. It's really incredible. Last week we had I hope she's not embarrassed, but we had a subscriber that has never traded futures before joining ClearEdge about 2, maybe 3 months ago. So imagine the learning curve if you've never traded futures, not only never traded futures, but never used a prop firm, never knew what a prop firm was. And, you know, was able to pass 5 accounts last week. That's awesome.
Insane. Most people can't say they're doing that. Uh-oh. We lost Nara. I think we're having some heavy technical difficulties. He's on the back end, but we're figuring it out.
I got my 160 scale.
There he is. He's back.
Well, it just said the lost host connection.
Yeah, because we're having some difficulties from the host, and I'm not even on the host account right now because it wasn't working for us. So, yeah.
So I mean, that's just really cool. I can show you guys sort of our.
Is the host account in Greenland by any chance?
Yeah. That's actually exactly what's happening. Yes.
So this is our Discord. And
guys, take note of this because a lot of these people, Nara, or I'll call you Dan now because I know your name's on there. A lot of these people are people that are, like you say, that have been struggling, right? That have not found consistency. And look at these P&Ls, bro. Oh,
yeah, there you go. That's what I wanted to show.
This is awesome. And it's like very consistent, very consistent. Of course, there's losers in there. There always will be. But
I mean, look at this. I mean, I think he's in here, but
Tommy,
you know, only automation.
Tommy, on the show.
I mean, this is pretty cool stuff here for us as when we set out to build this business and bring sort of an automation solution to retail. Literally, the mission statement was allow people to take payouts and pass these prop firm evals that they're spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month on. I mean, this is pretty cool here. This is all automated from this guy here.
Phenomenal. Especially if you're just doing that, like, and that's supplementing what you're already doing trading, or you might be working a job, whatever it is, whatever else you're doing. This is just supplementing that, right?
But I mean, that's not a bad month. I don't know if he said he was. Yeah, so he's on a futures desk account. $120 away from using his own strategy. You know, I was trying to find where she passed her, like this is funded here. Finally, he passed that one, but I was trying to find where she posted all of her evals that she passed, because that was like, oh, here it is. My first pass evaluations. Wow. Like, that is so cool.
Were there was she doing that with multiple strategies? I'm curious, right?
No. So
are these people mainly just running one?
So she had been struggling for a while, sort of finding a combination of stuff that was working for her. we actually brought on a couple of guys that are our support team that can do one-on-one setup sessions and help sessions, and even sort of if you need a pep talk on automation. You know, they've been doing this a while. They do a really, really good job with it. And she had a meeting with one of them, I think half hour, 45 minutes, sort of went through sort of one-on-one stuff that sizing and things like that. And I believe she's running this strategy, which is actually run by one of our support folks. It's called Kairos Bands. And this is, I think she's running on MNQ and MES. So this is the report for the last, let's go the last 30 days. This is on one MNQ. We can go last 90 days. This doesn't have a trailing stop. This is a very accurate back test. This is on one MNQ. Like, that's silly. Now, you run this on 5 accounts on one contract, you're not going to blow your accounts. You're going to just grind them higher. So she's running the MNQ one and then the MES one, which had a killer day today. So she probably made some money on her new funded accounts. It had a nice short here this morning at 1:35 in the morning and exited here at 3:15 in the morning for, what was that, 92 to... So a 22-point trade there, fully automated in the middle of the night. And then another one here this morning or early afternoon around 68, 63 and exited here at 68.41, another 22-point trade. So
clean trades. Love those.
You know, we're looking at the last 90 days here. This is one MES. Same thing. So what we tell all of our folks is get to the point of getting funded, then drop it down to this 1-2 MES. Use the leverage of having multiple accounts in your favor, and build. You know, that is the way to get payouts. That's the way to keep your accounts, and it's the way to generating some monthly cash flow.
Yeah, we threw that link for everybody to ClearEdge is in the chat as well. Free trial.
Jordan, I think you would like this one here. This Kairos.
I know. I haven't set up all the new ones yet. I gotta set them up. I'm back now from travels.
I think I sent you. I think
you sent me them. I got them.
Yep, you have the ability to grab them. So grab whichever ones you want. This is the gold strategy I'm running overnight. Also available in the marketplace. Awesome strategy. Runs on 1 minute.
Did a fine, right? It's just on the website, right?
It's right within.
Yeah, you have to log into your dashboard at my.clearedge.
Gotcha.
Then just click on marketplace, and all the strategies on the marketplace are right there for you. And they all have 7-day trials. You can test them out, play with them. Each one has a PDF document in the dedicated room in the Discord. I can show you that. You go to the Discord, you go to marketplace strategies. Each one has a dedicated room here that has the developer of the strategy has shared setups for it, chart links. You know, same with this one. All the different stuff that you need to get started. But yeah, it's the marketplace has been a huge success. We have, I believe, just about 75 people using the marketplace in about a week and a half-ish, maybe 2 weeks. So I think it's really been a game changer for a lot of people that are new to this, because there's strategies that you can fit sort of every style of trading.
And if you have a strategy that you want to come automate it with ClearEdge, you can submit it to us for forward testing, and actually we can put your strategy in the marketplace, and you know, the ability to monetize that too. So
yeah, because I know Tommy's built his own strategies. There's a ton of people that are.
I think his is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I was talking to him. He's got to figure out. And I think you'll really like that one, because that's your style, I think.
A lot of it's based off of what I do. Yeah, I'm gonna love that.
Yeah, so he's been really hard at work building that, which is pretty awesome.
Shout out, Tommy. You really worked hard, like, because I know that's, you know, you're trading like me a lot, and we're doing a very similar strategy. So I appreciate you putting in the time and work to like figure out the strategies, because I don't I'm not doing that really actively, right? So love to see. That's the beauty of having the community and then sharing the marketplace with everybody. Is there's so many smart individuals out there that creating these phenomenal strats.
Totally
not use
true.
them?
And if you should just see the engagement in our Discord. I mean, with
Oh,
our
I know.
two
Look
guys
at all
we
the
added,
emojis. Everybody's stoked all the time. I love
mean,
it.
it's just so constructive, and everybody helping everybody. And with the two guys we added, these guys are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's
No,
the.
I've really
that's
seen
been
the
awesome.
room grow a lot, just in
Yeah.
terms of like how engaging everybody is. Because I know in the start it wasn't obviously, when you start out things, it's not going to be that way. But it's grown into
Right.
something really cool. What's up, Lee? Did you have something?
Yeah, no, just saying it's been great to see just people helping each other out, and it's kind of fostered a really sort of collaborative community and no egos, just people helping people, and everyone's sort of has the same goal, which is just to figure out their automation journey, their portfolios, and make money.
Something I like to see too is, I mean, and you're really only going to see this in a room like this because of the automation piece of it, is I don't see a whole lot, because I'll go in there sometimes and kind of read the chats and see what's going on. And it's never people fighting about, oh, I broke my rules, my emotions, this, because there is really none of that, right? Automation just takes that away. And instead of it being a room full of, oh, I broke my rules today, I'm not following my rules or this, it's a room full of, I'm trying to figure out this strategy, or guys, I have this strategy that I'm trying to work on, this or that, whether it works or not. It's just cool to see a room full of people that are actively like, they're past the point of worrying about emotions and all that, because automation just solves that for you. You don't have to worry about it. And you get to put all your worries into what's the next strat, what's the most profitable strat that I can find, right? What's going to bring me consistency. And I just love to see that, because most of the time, I mean, with a lot of these rooms, it's educated traders trying to teach the uneducated, hey, like, you got to set a stop loss, you got to do this, you got to do that, right? All the rules and the lessons we know. But it's just nice to see that it's all strats.
Yeah, the nice thing for us
Actually,
too
I gotta
is,
jump off here in a second, but
You're good,
I
Dan.
just wanted to
yeah,
No
the
worries.
nice
say
thing.
thank you guys for having us, and talk to you guys soon.
Always love
See you.
talking, brother. We'll have you on soon. What's up, Lee?
Yeah, one of the cool things is, for the longest time as we're developing this software, it was just Dan and I and Gov testing some of these strategies, and you can't tinker too much. You got to give it time and kind of watch things.
Well, that's what's hard, right? You gotta. Well, and you guys do a really good job, I would say.
But now we got this community. It's people are just tinkering in different ways than we even thought. So
yeah.
There's so many different ways you can use some of these strategies, different instruments, different time frames, different settings. So that's been awesome. And the as we grow the community, and it's grown immensely, especially over the last couple of months, you just see the engagement, see the different things people are doing. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see, because like you say, people are going to kind of screw with things and tinker with things a little bit differently than you guys might. And
yeah,
you get to see what's really possible with all of it, because, everybody's different, or we all think differently. And I love to see how many different ideas and like different types of ways to extract money from the market there are,
Yeah, it's funny, as we were talking here in the Discord, somebody asked that girl or that lady who passed those 5 accounts last week how she's doing on the fundeds, and she's doing good.
Let's go.
But she just said halfway to passing another 50K account on MNQ today.
That's awesome. Look at that. It's just, and that's the thing. A lot of the people in here, I mean, I've talked to you guys multiple times, right? I know there's a lot of people that are like getting so close to funded, and then drawdown comes in, right? And you end up never passing it. And it's one of the hardest things to deal with. And the biggest part of that is you being so tied to the account and the money of it, right? Where, again, you can get out of that by yourself for sure. But automation just helps with that so much. And I just think no matter who you are in chat, whether you're somebody that's like, hey, like me, I trade every day pretty much, right? I'm never going to stop manually trading, but I know there's other strategies that I am not trading, I'm not caring about throughout the day, that can be scalping and making me some money, or while I'm sleeping, right? I'm in bed, I'm not at the charts, I can't be trading, and there's money to be made during that, right? And so that's what I would say, like, for anybody in the
wake
chat,
up and see a few $100 in your account.
right? It's the best. I love it. Like it always, and even when you wake up and you're down, it's still a great feeling no matter what. Obviously losing money sucks, but it's still a great feeling knowing, oh, I took opportunity last night, right? It may have not worked out in my favor this time, but I'm taking opportunity when it comes, not just, sitting there sleeping, not making anything, right?
And one thing the automation teaches you is that you have a strategy, you have your rules, and there's no emotion. It'll take profit here. It'll stop out here, and it's helped a lot of people in the manual trading too, because you find a strategy, you can look back, you can test it, you can see what works, you can see what your win rate is on that strategy.
Well, we've now been conditioned to understand, like, I can take those losses and it's okay, right? But when you've seen no profitability and you're just trying to trade yourself, you don't feel like it's okay to take those losses. You see a strategy do it and you still got paid out, you're like, oh, I can take losses and still make money, it's okay, right?
Well, most of the time people that are not successful trading, it's because of that. It's because they are letting emotions overrule their strategy. They wanted to take profit at 10 points, but they say, yeah, I'm gonna go against my rules and take profits at 2 points because I just don't feel good. You just got to let the trades work out. And there's so many different trading strategies, and there's thousands that work. And you have to adapt and change as the markets change, but you have to strike when you see your setup, and automation does that without any emotion, without any intervention. You can intervene. I've intervened in lots of automated trades, and usually it doesn't work out well.
Well, how about the learning time? It's short heavily.
Yeah.
I mean, it just absolutely shortens the learning time. You guys know me. It's like, look how long it took me a long time. Because there was the time frame it took me to learn how to trade on the trading floors. But then when I went off the floor electronically, it was a different trade. It was a completely different thing I needed to figure out. And it took me a while. I mean, I took my lumps and, survived. I think I had to recapitalize a couple of times, step away for a little while, and finally come back. And, I somehow just a few light bulbs went off, relative to being able to define my risk and manage my size accordingly. It wasn't until I crystallized those things together and developed a few trade setups that I knew how to apply that. And then now all of a sudden it's like it wasn't just this hit or miss victory. It was like a true degree of consistency. And this completely takes that out of it. And by default, you start to respect the strategies. And it was like, look how long it's taking. Here's something that is incorporating straight math. That's powerful decision making. And these are running at success rates of 65, 70%. Well, guess what's the opposite of that? Subtract 100. That means 30-something percent of the time it's going to have its own little drawdown. Well, okay.
What strategy doesn't? Show me one that doesn't.
Show me one that doesn't.
It's like,
dude, exactly it.
I can lose 3 months in a row and still end the year profitable, right? It doesn't. Like, every strategy is going to have those drawdowns. But what's nice with automation is you can kind of set it up to where you have different strategies running during those different environments, right? So, hey, maybe we're in drawdown on the breakout strategies right now, but the rebalancing strategies are doing really good in this market.
And then manually, when I'm off, like we talked about at the beginning of the program, I walk away.
Yeah.
Turn my systems off. I know I don't have to see red on red P&L to know that I'm off. I have more than a couple of losses. It's not normal that I have a couple of losses in a row. I know I'm not seeing something, so I have to step away.
Exactly. Some great pieces, boys. Well, if you're in the chat, you're not using ClearEdge yet, you definitely should. I threw that link in there. If you can't find it for whatever reason, just go to ClearEdge.trading, right? That's the website, ClearEdge.trading.
Somebody just said they wish they were here earlier to know we were doing this. Well, they can watch a replay, right?
Yeah, you can watch the replay, and don't worry, we do these all the time, so we'll talk more in depth about ClearEdge. But
I think we're talking Friday, right?
Yeah, we'll talk Friday. Guys, feel free to go to ClearEdge.trading. You guys can use code WOLF, try out the free trial, and see if it's something you like. Obviously, you guys can go into the marketplace too and look at all the different chats that there are.
I want to stress that we do have one-on-one setups, so you can book that through our interface when you sign up. And
Yeah.
if you're a little
huge.
hesitant about it because you're unsure how to set it up, or you think it's too complicated, we'll walk you right through it.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the strategy you were just showing, Smooth?
Dan was showing the
Was that the Legerity?
Secret Lab.
Oh, it was the Secret Lab one, yeah.
Yeah. And that's been popular. Kairos has been popular. Market Ninja has been popular. So these are all exist in the marketplace. And
there's a
like
few I
Dan
haven't
said,
tried yet. I got to try some of those.
So
and there's more coming. We're testing many more. So hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
you know, 3, 6, 9 months down the road, you'll have a plethora of strategies there for us to, or for the members to choose from. And
yeah,
you know, we'll have all the running back test data, forward test data, so you can kind of see what fits into your portfolio.
Yeah, so KB Harris, within our ClearEdge, we have, I don't know how dialed in you were, but we have the basic, well-validated performance, the strong performance strategies that come with each plan. But we have our marketplace. Just picture a cafeteria for options to go through the line, and you can pick whatever strategy. And LSL, or Legerity Secret Lab strategy, is the one that they were talking about.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff there. Well, boys, I think we'll probably get wrapping up here. But again, reminder for everybody, take advantage of that. Use code WOLF. And there's plenty of videos of how to set this all up and everything. You guys can always come into the stream and ask me because I know a lot about it as well. But Nara and Smooth, Gov, all the boys are always giving education on how to set these things up and, you know, how to size them properly. If you're running multiple strategies at once, how to do that, right? All that stuff is there for you guys. So don't feel like you're left out. You guys saw the room. Ton of people in there all helping each other, so just take advantage, guys. There's a lot of opportunity for us to now make some serious money in the market without a whole lot of effort. And I don't want to sound like we're lazy. You know that I'm the opposite of lazy, but at the end of the day, if we can make some extra money and low effort doing this stuff, I think it's something you definitely want to take advantage of.
It's just supplementing what you're doing too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and if you're not profitable trading manually, this can be making you a few bucks here whilst you're learning how to trade manually.
It could be the last puzzle piece you need to kind of put things together and see, this is how I get consistency, you know, because I know for me, that's kind of what it was. I remember I read Trading in the Zone, and it was just my mindset that I needed to get right, you know, and as soon as I did that, things started to fall together and work. But it's not until you figure those things out, right? And sometimes we never do, and that's where this really helps, because I know there's people like me in the past that just couldn't really get it together. This will get you over that hump, and then you're able to really see some consistency.
We've all been there, man. We've all been there. Hey, KB and Shady, when you sign up for ClearEdge, you'll be able to get into Discord. Go into the user chat. You'll see the engagement there. Besides just scoping out, you know, other aspects of it.
Yeah, and you'll see what strategies people are using.
Yeah,
definitely.
Cool. Well, thanks, Jordan. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, boys.
Thanks, Jordy.
Yeah, love y'all. Enjoy the night. We'll probably talk soon. See you guys soon. Always feel free, by the way, boys. If you want to hop on X, always feel free to hop on the spaces if you're ever free.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, that would be good to start jumping back on there again during the day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hopefully, we'll see you all on the Discord.
Yes, sir.
Right,
sounds good. Peace out, everybody. See you tomorrow.
All right. See ya.